Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to some number episode of Geekers Podcast. I am the Clown Prince of Podcast, Trestnell.
The Clown Prince, did you say?
I said Prince
Just
all the way.
Prince.
I
Yeah,
said
good
no,
one.
I didn't, but whatever.
I am Adam Marcus, Dilmas.
I'm the Knight Taylor Field.
The Night.
Oh, come on.
Movie of the week is Knight's Tale.
Yeah.
The great. Well, what did you say?
I said movie of the week, Knight's Tale.
It's A Knight's Tale.
Okay, my
Don't
bad.
forget that, because I'm sure I'm gonna.
I can only see the back. It says 2 thumbs up from Ebert and Reaper of the movies. So those
Of the
guys
movies.
sound very reputable.
Because I'm gonna look and see if there's just a movie called
A
Knight's
lot of special
Tale.
features, but as I commented before we hit live, very boring case. Not
Yeah.
a great case.
A lot of special features. That's definitely a thing of the past, right? I feel like
I know I
we're.
missed the special features.
Yeah, the good thing I've heard, as we're Disney shills, Disney Plus is going to have special features.
Nice.
So that's one
That's
thing I'm surprised Netflix has never had, things like that. While we were bantering, I'm going to see if there's just a movie, A Knight's Tale, because we don't want to get it confused with
Just
anything
Knight's
else.
Tale.
Yeah, but
The Heath Ledger claim to fame movie is what
Mhm.
we're talking about.
so no, you're lucky. There's
Is that
just-
Anne Hathaway? Who's that? The other person?
I don't think it's Anne Hathaway, is
It's
it?
probably not.
No, that's not Anne Hathaway.
No, there's a movie called Night Tales, and it's night like day and versus night, and then tails. So you're lucky. So there would
Okay.
be no, yeah.
Nice.
The reason I was stuck on this is because I watched this thing called the Movie Trivia Schmodown, and in that you have to like be specific because there's some movie that might be thing and the thing, and if you don't write it down or say it correctly, you might lose a point.
Oh,
So,
okay. Yeah, I
that-
would definitely fail that.
yeah, but they would give you the pass because there's no other movie that you would say because this one was also a TV
I
movie.
I see.
Is that Vision in there, or is
Paul
that
Bettany?
is that Paul Bettany? Yeah.
Is it? Yeah, I know people by their names, so.
Paul Bettany's in there.
Paul
Let me
Bettany's
double
like
check.
37. He's probably been in a lot of movies.
Because it's
Oh.
not. Let's see. Yeah, it is Paul Bettany. I've not watched it too many times because honestly, the one thing I'm not a big fan of. I love Heath, but I'm not a fan of. It's a medieval movie and it uses current music. Like, oh god,
Jesus
okay.
Christ.
it using current music at that time, and
Smash our device.
unless you're going for like really fourth wall breaking, I'm not a big fan of current music in past iterations of things.
And I don't blame you for that. I think that's
Yeah.
I think that's a good standpoint to have.
Yeah, because like I think they had like "We Will Rock You" in
It's,
this.
it's literally on the case
Yeah.
too.
That
It says
gives me-
"We will rock you," or
that
he will rock you.
That's very strange. Yeah, that gives me bad vibes.
See, if you want us to retro or do a commentary track for this
Yeah,
movie,
believe it or not, this is not a retro. For
yeah,
us.
but join the best tier yet. And if you join that tier on Patreon, you can pick any movie for us to do. And if you
Yep.
want that, if you want Sky High, that's not on Disney Plus, unfortunately, we'll do it. This is a newscast, ladies and gentlemen. Before I get into that, I have lots of things to plug. You guys plug something because I'm going to be busy changing some settings. What are you guys doing this week?
This very Friday, well, actually, this Thursday, we will be seeing Zombieland, me, Taylor, and Kirkland. Go check out our retro, which released last week. I listened to it again. It's actually, I think it's a pretty fun episode. Not to toot our own horn or anything, but it's pretty fun. And yeah, the sequel comes out this very week, so we're gonna go see that Thursday. Review Friday, and it'll probably be up Friday night. So,
Surprisingly,
yeah.
good word of mouth too. I'm
Really?
surprised. Yeah, critics saw it last night. And
People in the trailer played before I saw Joker again, and the audience was howling.
I agree. Yeah.
Especially my aunt as well. She was. I love that movie.
She did Lebowski
Yeah.
in
Yeah,
the rooftop.
smashing the roof. So I don't know. It's gonna be a weird one, but I'm excited. It's gonna be
Taylor's
a fun
most excited, I can tell.
review. Mhm.
Oh yeah, well that and I mean Lighthouse is coming up here. You know.
Well, I guess I was kind of plugging was
That's
in
a
the
little
near future,
further
but
out,
that's 2 weeks away. Because
Yeah.
That
yeah,
just goes to show how jam-packed October is.
yeah, because I was
Yeah.
about to get into because next week we'll be doing Lighthouse because where we are in Kelowna, we don't get that the same small release, so we'll do that next. I think it's next week. Yeah, the 24th, 25th, something like that. Coming up, obviously, this newscast. That's great. You got Star Wars commentary tracks dropping left and right. What is it? October 21st. Oh my goodness! You know what? I'm gonna take a quick drink of water and do a
Take
double
some
take.
water. Yeah, you really dropping the ball in the plugs today.
So October 21st is supposedly the very highly rumored drop of the Star Wars Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker trailer.
Cool.
We'll be doing a podcast for that. We'll also be doing reaction. I don't really do trailer reactions anymore, but Taylor says we have to do one more for this one because The Last Jedi one is our most watched video ever. It's like...
and they said you gave a fake reaction.
Oh, I know. Somebody said, yeah, but it's been seen by like 18,000 people, so it just blew up. I have no idea. So it's
Yeah.
kind of history that we do that. So we have that. We have Lighthouse. And then in 2 weeks from now, unless one of us dies or something goes awry, we are going to be recording a Marvel fan cast. I just realized something that I did, but that's fine. We're going to be doing a Marvel fan cast, and we're going to be casting a bunch of people. We're going to be casting Ghost Rider. We're going to be casting Daredevil, which we're going to talk about today. Just a bunch of Marvel nights, some Disney Plus. We haven't cast She-Hulk or Moon Knight and things like that. So, yeah. What was I going to say?
What were you gonna say?
Yeah,
You're on another planet
the
right now.
extra there. I was
This whole day, Travis in our group chat has multiple topics. Like, I read the sentence, and I read it again. I read it a third time. I'm like, what the fuck is he trying to say? I have no idea.
the John Cena 2-star pick one. I don't know how.
Okay, I will admit that part of the confusion there was that I thought that was Channing Tatum, and I was like, what? I thought he was like Gambit. What's going on with this? Like, why is he in this movie? And I thought you were saying because it's a picture of John Cena and. His assistant, his girlfriend,
girlfriend.
Yeah, and you said these are my 2-star picks, so I thought that meant you, like those are both of your picks were walking together instead of a singular 2-star pick. Does that make sense? That's where the confusion was.
It did, but I still thought you should have got it, but it was fine.
Well, I was like, do I not recognize this girl? Who is this? That's why I asked the question.
You wouldn't recognize the girl. It's John Cena's girlfriend.
Well, maybe we should know who she is.
Well, and because the reason
professional.
The reason I had a brain fart is November 2nd, the Extra Life 24-hour charity stream is coming up. We got huge things going on. We have a tournament for the World Geek vs. Gauntlet Championship. Yes, if you've not heard, Tyler Briggs has been stripped due to lack of competition.
Throwing the word world in there is a pretty bold move, I'd say.
It goes back and forth.
Considering we're all from one city.
Yeah, the Kelowna Geek vs. Gauntlet Championship.
We're not even
Canadian.
provincial yet.
Yeah. So we got that going. So it's going to be a 6-person tournament. All the people are going to be revealed very soon. We're locking down the 6th person. So that'll be all revealed, but you got your Geek vs. Favorites in there. So it's for the title. That's going to be really good. You have the 3-way sports title. Taylor Field, my brother has challenged you to some sort of death match or something on Hunka Hunka. I saw. Don't check out Hunka Hunka, but if you want to see the challenge, it's on our Facebook. He laid out.
I don't know how those guys snuck out again onto the channel.
Yeah. We
keep changing the password, but they keep figuring
contracts,
it out.
You know.
I saw part of the video. I didn't watch the whole thing. I thought it was just kind of stupid. So,
wow.
I mean, it'll whatever happens, I guess. I don't have much say
Speaking
in
of
this.
Heath Ledger, those guys, I'm not going to spoil much of their list, but they put Heath Ledger at the bottom of all of Jokers.
Really low.
That's kind of crazy.
Yeah, very low. Yeah. And what I had a brain fart was because I was going to do this long foreplay, this long conversation about, we do a randoms team round in the tournament, and Taylor and I have been placed together, and Taylor had asked me something about if we should form the Wolf Order one more time, and I was going to do this big foreplay and whatnot, but I realized
You're already wearing the thing.
I'm already wearing the thing. That's how excited I was to accept it, because November 2nd, the Wolf Order for one night only is going to come back. Do I still want to beat the crap out of this man over here for embarrassing me multiple times? He's assaulted me. He's kicked me in between the legs. He's hurt me. He's done lots of things. But the thing is, Taylor made a good point. To win the tournament, we have to work together. There's going to be 3 rounds. There's going to be 3 matches where we're going to have to verse other teams. So we got to work together. So for one more time, and throw that up there.
Yeah, that's 1, 2, and 3.
I consider myself in an open relationship. This does not mean anything against Dill Musk, my team partner. Once this is over, I'll go back to him. It's just, hey, that's the way it's randomized. So I didn't choose this, but Wolf Order, baby.
I have no comment.
Wolf Order, baby.
Oh.
Mayhem's going to happen.
Mayhem.
You know what's going to be happening? Know what's going on? Okay, go on.
Oh, I was going to say.
No.
That's such a good transition.
You always give me flag for shouting it at the end of the episodes.
You're right. I always say interrupt me.
So right now, the Halloween poll is going off strong. Yes. Literally, you got like an hour left. Or no, never mind, because this isn't live. This isn't live. Shit. So right now, the current round is, I think, The Grudge versus Pumpkinhead. It's getting wild.
The Grudge?
Like that's happening tonight, you're saying?
That'll kick in, yeah.
Yeah.
So like by the time you
Right.
tune in, because this will go up tonight, right?
Yeah,
this
yeah,
episode.
I understand.
It'll for sure be up Thursday morning, the 16th,
What the heck is
17th of
Pumpkinhead
October.
from?
Pumpkinhead. There's like 5 Pumpkinhead movies.
Really?
There is, yeah.
The only pumpkin I know is from Yu-Gi-Oh. So,
So you said The Grudge versus? I thought The Grudge already appeared.
No, that was the Ring Girl.
Oh, you put them both in there?
hell yeah, they're iconic.
They're iconic. Pumpkinhead?
No, Pumpkinhead's not fucking iconic.
Yeah. So go there and vote. I don't think
It's been fun.
Yeah, I don't think there's been any surprises.
It's been
so
mostly
far.
blowouts, unfortunately, but
No, there was one that was really close. What was it?
I did say mostly, but anyway, what was it?
Ooh, I don't know. I'm
remember.
surprised about Jeepers Creepers getting kicked out by
I wasn't.
Frankenstein.
Got my vote.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember. But
Did.
go there. They're fun. What's it? Jigsaw and Leprechaun was close for a while.
Jigsaw and Leprechaun are
No,
going to go up in round
Who
2.
was
Go check out our Saw retro.
Who was Michael Myers against?
Oh, Michael Myers was against.
one?
If you pull up one of the images, you can see because they're on.
I'm not
It's on
gonna
like
do
every
that.
image.
I'll
but,
do that later. But yeah, that
Michael
was the one that
Myers.
was really close, and then he took a strong lead. But for all 2 hours, it was back and forth. So yeah, it's lots of fun. It's a Halloween poll. We're doing polls all the time. You can decide the Halloween icon.
Yeah,
Round 2
it's
is gonna
fun.
be starting this weekend, so it's always good stuff. So
This is one I would say. Some of the other ones almost you can predict in advance who you think's going to win, and sometimes that
I feel
ends
like
up
you've
being
been
the case. But
absent
for
on some other
Halloween,
ones.
you can't predict.
Well, I feel like in this case, my bet is going to Jason.
Yeah.
Mine is 100%. It's Jason on one side, Michael Myers. Michael Myers wins the whole thing because his movie's named after Halloween.
Boom, there you go.
You know what's not named after? I have no good transition because I was going to talk about Mayhem and I was going to talk about this DC casting news because we're going this and that left and right, but Taylor ruined it.
Where are we
What a
starting?
story, Travis.
So remember, take 2. You know what's Mayhem is this Batman movie that's happening. We're going to do movie, TV news, and then we're going to get into video
Got some
game
gaming
news.
stuff today as well.
We got Batman casting. We got Feige taking control of all Marvel, talking about PS5. We're talking about Miss Marvel and some other Avengers tidbits going on. So a little rundown there. Batman. So first I want to talk about the good news and then maybe the more controversial news. Good news is we have our Catwoman. I'm very excited about this. I'm a fan of Zoe Kravitz. It's funny. I don't know how it came, but the Fantastic Beasts 2 was just like I was thinking about it the other day, and then she got cast. I remember that's like the only thing that I really was positive in that movie, that I thought she did a good job in it. She's good in Mad Max, Big Little Lies. So I'm very happy with this choice. If you don't know anything about me, not Fantastic Beasts, that's not one of my favorites. Catwoman is easily my favorite like female fictional character, but overall she's in my top 10 of just characters overall. I said overall too many times. So. Overalls. So Jimbo, what
Oh my god.
He's doing it again.
It is not.
Oh no.
I don't know what's going
He's
on.
on
with Travis
Terra today.
I was
There's
Russian.
some
I
faulty
ate
wiring today.
Anyway, so there was lots of rumored people, and I'll throw those on in a second. But with her, I was very happy because there's a lot of people I didn't like pick. But it's funny, the director.
What is her like biggest role? Would you say? Like, what is her must-see movie? Because you mentioned
I don't think
Fantastic
she has one
Beasts.
of those.
Kind of forgot about
Yeah.
her, and it not her fault, just the movie's fault. Was she in Fury Road, Mad
Yeah,
Max,
she
or a
was.
different one?
Yeah, yeah.
I also don't remember her from that. So, not to say that she isn't good. I think she just has smaller roles in those movies.
The other one I would say is Dope. It has a lot of good people in it,
Dope,
just about some
okay.
younger kids, African American kids, black kids, kind of dealing with their culture and stuff like
Okay.
that. Who came like the kid who voices Miles Morales came from that.
So Dope. Any other like
yeah.
must-see movies? would you
Not
say?
movies. Everyone kind of, and I've not seen the whole thing, but everyone shouts up Big Little Lies as a TV show.
Oh,
It's
okay.
her with like Nicole Kidman and with Reese Witherspoon, I think. So
okay.
I've seen bits and pieces, but I hear good things. So yeah, like apparently she was rumored in August because when they were looking for Catwoman, they were saying they're looking for a Zoe Kravitz type, and then what happened was she was supposed to do Fantastic Beasts 3. Finally, something good came of Fantastic Beasts 2 being so terrible because they had to delay that. So her schedule's open. And then, so she gets this. And I just think she's the perfect role because you can say whatever you want. But Catwoman, you got to be sexy. You got to have that appeal. But you also got to have just this nature about you that's very hidden, very mysterious, but also very, I don't know what the word I'd be looking for here is, if you're not scared of something, but if you are... Oh man, I don't.
Intimidating.
No, like the reverse of like if you're trying to hide that you're really scared of something, but not like tragic. But I had the word earlier, and I'm like I'm gonna use it on the cast. Like I said, I'm on a roll today. But
that happens. All
I
too
think
much.
she encompasses what Catwoman could be. I think obviously there's Ana de Armas that was rumored. There's actually Lisa Vikander was one of
Yeah.
them.
I wanted Ana de Armas because she's the love of my life.
I did.
God.
I did too. I thought that was the perfect pick, but at the end of the day, they said they all screen tested with Patterson, and I imagine they had the best
I'm sure
chemistry.
it's the right choice.
Yeah. And Zazie Beetz was the other one we've talked about before. She was like one of the top tier choices, but Alana got in the way. Man, I had the word and it went away. I'm gonna throw it over to one of you two, and then when it comes in, yeah.
Well, unfortunately, I don't have much to say on this. Like, I just kind of have to take your word on it that she's like good for this role because one, I don't really know anything about Catwoman. Two, I've seen 2 of her movies, I guess, but I don't even remember her in them. So it's really hard for me to say. But you know, I generally trust your opinion on these casting things, especially for a character that's really close to your heart and your history. So I'm down for it. I mean, I would have preferred Anna de Armas, maybe, but maybe I wouldn't. Who knows?
Yeah, I agree with you because there's also been rumors before. There was like a few weeks ago, people were saying, "Oh, we really want her," and then I think a scooper, I can't remember the tier, but I think like B or higher did say that she was busy. So there's a chance it might have even been a thing where she might have been busy with another movie, and that's why they didn't go that route.
Knives Out too,
Knives Out too. A fun fact for Zoe Kravitz: she voiced Catwoman in Lego Batman, so that's a kind of fun full circle.
Okay, that is cool.
Yeah.
So it's recurring time for the character. That's kind of fun. Yeah.
Taylor, go.
What?
I can't think of the word. It's just on the tip of my brain.
Give me a definition of this word again.
Oh no, like it'd be if someone was trying to hide that there was lots of pain in them, that they were maybe a little scared. She's not scared, but like a little broken, something like that. Like
well, not like sheltered, like
No, you're not gonna get this.
Like you're trying to say she has like a tragic past and
kind of, yeah, but I feel like there's one word that
There's
can
one word
encompass that,
Sure,
but
sure.
I just on tip my tongue, it's gone, it's left.
Hmm.
What do you think about
Webster
Zoe
when you
Kravitz?
need
Grammarly.
Yeah, when I saw you drop this in the chat, I was like, I'm sorry, who's this? I don't know who she is. And then I saw pictures like, oh, it's the girl from Fantastic Beasts. Yeah, she was good in Fantastic
X-Men
Beasts.
First Class as well. She played
She's
Angel.
in First Class?
Yep. She played Angel. Yep.
I
Take
don't.
your word for it.
Yeah, she jumps over. She starts on the good side and then jumps over to the bad side.
Oh, does she?
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember her in Mad Max. Of course, I only saw that movie once, like years ago.
Wow. Masterpiece.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm looking forward to seeing what she does. I mean, I don't know. Lots of good contenders up there to fight for the role of Catwoman, and she got in. So
I'm picturing like all of them in a room.
It was a cat
battling.
They all got a whip. All right, fight to the death.
I think they did the right thing. If you have that right kind of chemistry with the other actors, that's what you need. You need to go for that. And if she had good chemistry with Rob there, then that's prime. And I think that'll go a long
You're on a
way.
first name short.
I love my
nickname
first
basis,
name.
huh?
Yeah, short name, first name basis.
Jeez
I love my
Louise.
first name basis with celebrities. But Zoe, I think she'll definitely.
Her name is Zoe, not Zoe. She's never gonna. If we ever start interviewing celebrities, you're gonna say that and she'd walk right out.
I don't know. Maybe she likes that name. I think it's nice.
No, I'm very excited for her in this because I don't know. I'm obviously like the roles that she's had in the past are obviously big roles. I feel bad that I don't remember them, but I feel like this will definitely be a very big, memorable role. Like, oh yeah, Catwoman, because there's only so many Catwomen that when you say Catwoman, I'm immediately thinking.
Well, there's only one and only White Gold, Michelle Pfeiffer.
I think of like the two Catwomen, that I've ever seen in my life, and I guess the third one who was brief. She was briefly in Lego Batman.
Who's the other one? You thinking Anne Hathaway?
Yeah.
Okay, just checking. Yeah. Because there's the '60s one. Though there's like three '60s ones. Yeah.
Right. For me, I don't personally count them because I never had
She
that
was in her own
experience in my
movie.
life. I never got to like connect with them on the screen. So, but they count.
Wait, do you
they
mean you
definitely
haven't
count.
seen those movies?
I haven't seen the original.
Okay.
Old
That was a
school
funny
ones.
way of saying I haven't seen those movies.
How did I say
I don't
it?
connect with them. Like they didn't connect with me. Well,
Oh.
no, you just haven't seen.
Yeah, I haven't seen them.
I got it. I don't think I fully got it, but I got a word close. I think she has aspects of her emotions that are very fragile. Like in a way, like I see it didn't work, but
No, not it.
in a way where
It's not the one.
She's shaken.
Not stirred.
No. But yeah, that's the thing with I'm excited because I liked Anne Hathaway in Dark Knight Rises, but I think I don't know. I don't know if she had the right edge for Catwoman, and I also think that movie underserves her. I'm a big defender of that movie, but I think that is one of the lower tier plot points. And Dylan's not. That's one of the lower tier plot points of that one. Is I think that she could have been a great Catwoman, but there wasn't anything left for her. Michelle Pfeiffer, that is going to be tough. That is the role. They gave her so many levels, but I don't know. Because we're going to talk about the other castings in a second. I'm still wondering how much she's going to be in this. There's Catwoman right there. It's just my dog. I don't know how much she's going to be in this. That's the thing that I question with all of these because we still have these two villains. We still have rumored other villains and other characters.
Yeah,
got Gordon.
it's a massive movie.
So I don't even know. Like the trade so far have said Catwoman, but it still wouldn't surprise me if she's mostly just Selina Kyle in this movie and she's maybe ends off as Catwoman, or we don't even see Selina or Catwoman, we don't see Catwoman. Mm-hmm. So I'm still wondering about that because it's a lot of people, and I don't know if it's just a setup. And she's
that's
an
why
important character.
any casting for this movie, it's just this weird place where it seems like such a conglomeration of characters. It's hard to say who are going to be like the big names,
Yeah.
and who's just going to be like a small like couple scenes, 5 minutes
Yeah.
time sort of thing.
The only one we've kind of got some hints is that Riddler sounds like he's the main baddie. And other than
Sure,
that, we
yeah.
don't know the levels of people. So same thing. She could be a love interest. She could be a criminal. She could just be Catwoman and he's trying to get her and maybe meet Selina Kyle at the end of the movie. Like, there's lots of fun possibilities they could do. And that's the thing I've said before. Batman's been around for decades. They still haven't even touched the potential of stories. And even like Taylor said, there's only been 2 live action Catwomans, you know?
So the when Michelle Pfeiffer's Catwoman, what was the guy's name that turned her into Catwoman?
I swear I thought you were going to ask me
Something
what
Shrek?
Michael Keaton's name was.
No.
Max Shrek.
Max
It was
Shrek.
phenomenal in that movie.
So are we?
Max
Is he
Shrek.
from the comics? Like,
No,
would
they
they
made
bring
him
him into this
That's
movie?
a Tim Burton thing.
Oh shit! Because I would have loved. I always feel like, okay, if there's like Selina Kyle, does that include a Max Shrek character?
No,
You
no.
know?
I think this year, because we've talked about doing commentary tracks, we've talked about doing Home Alone, but in probably the year of Batman, we should do Batman Returns because I want Christopher Walken's in Batman Returns, and man, is
fucking
he
great.
chewing up the scenery.
Oh.
He is just having a great time. His hair is his.
Plays Max
He has
Shrek.
an afro, but it's pure white. Like, it's crazy. Like, it's exactly.
wild.
Yeah, exactly what you expect from Tim Burton to be doing. So yeah, that's fantastic. Still didn't think of the word, so classic Travis. But I just think she is. I looked at it, and for me, it was exactly kind of like Batman. And to a lesser,
You could say she's got that hashtag damaged aesthetic to her.
yeah, maybe she'll have that tattooed like the tramp stamp, but it's damaged. So, but yeah, I needed this to
Tramp
be a good
stamp.
casting, and I heard there was and this is why even on the cast now we've invented the tier list because there was a list going around weeks ago that was like Tessa Thompson and Lupita Nyong'o, and I was like, are you guys fucking high? Like the people that are like main leads in these Marvel movies are not gonna be jumping over. So that's why. Always check the source. Always see what they've gone right because so many people are running with this, and I was like, "This is not like you got." That's why it's B tier, C tier. You know that was like a D tier, and then that person said that they're gonna take a break from scooping because their sources aren't that good anymore. So respect to that person. I won't name them because it's a little shitty, but respect because if you get 2 right or 2 wrong like that, because they had a Batman shortlist that didn't even have Robert Pattinson on it. And I was like, oh yeah.
Oh, falling into the we got this covered kind of area.
Yeah, but he's gotten stuff right before, and I don't think he's doing it just for clicks. You know, it just happens.
He's
so.
trying his hardest in these trying times.
Yeah, so perfect for Catwoman. I like Dylan. I would have preferred the Anna de Armas, but hopefully she killed the audition. I trust Matt Reeves, and I just can't wait to see what she does. It's just like I said, she has a mysterious vibe to her. She's looking sexy. I just can see her and Robert Pattinson just having like good old raunchy bad cat sex going on. So
Bad
that's why.
cat sex.
Yeah. We're Anna de Armas and him. I don't know. There's something about it where I don't know if it matched, but this it matches. So
Cool.
you know what's not matching apparently is Jonah Hill in this Batman movie. So we got a news break today that Jonah Hill is no longer in talks for the Batman. Now you never know because look at Spider-Man. Stuff happens, stuff goes away, and stuff comes back. So he's apparently no longer Penguin or Riddler, and then they're kind of going back to the board because at first it broke that one of the other people they're looking at for Penguin was Seth Rogen, but then they've said that's kind of maybe gone now that it's kind of maybe in the wind right now. Yeah. So or no, that it's kind of like his option is kind of gone too. Like it was they were talking about it, but it seems like it's kind of drifted away. So maybe they were a duo thing. So Taylor, I'm going to start with you. What do you think about Jonah Hill? Yeah, let's just say he's done and he's not doing the Batman. What do you think about that? And then what do you think about this Rogan thing? And obviously we've done the Batman fan cast, so you can check that out. So you can kind of hear who our Riddler and Penguin choices have been. But if you want to say anything else.
Well, you know, I think on that note, I think this just opens the door for my fan cast of who should be Penguin. I think, you know, Sam needs to get casted in here. I can't remember his full name.
So the guy you're just talking about some guy from Game of Thrones who's you
He'll
don't
be
even remember.
Perfect.
He might be perfect, but don't you think if they're looking at actors a la Jonah Hill, Seth Rogen, they're clearly looking for an established name?
I guess so, yeah. But, you know, all these established names are, you know, just farts in the wind now to them. So.
That's two. 2 out of how many people are in the world that are established actors?
Yeah, but it's like, oh, if Seth Rogen or Jonah Hill isn't going to take it, then, like, are these other people going to want to take it? 'Cause,
Well,
you
it's
know,
not necessarily that they didn't take it. It's like they probably had some conversations with the director and the team, and just the vision of it wasn't going to line up.
Or
what they're
money.
for.
Or money, yeah. You know, you never know. Someone might walk in there and be like, I want to get paid as much as Iron Man does. And Matt Reeves might be like, you know what?
Well, the rumor was Jonah
No.
Hill was asking for more money than Robert Pattinson, so that could have been a thing. We know what happened to Terrence Howard when he asked for more money than Robert Downey, and he got the boot.
Yeah, it can work out not so well.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think it's a shame. I think I would have loved to see Jonah Hill in there as a Penguin. I think it would have been very cool. And I honestly, personally love the idea of Seth in there. I think a comedic Penguin is hilarious. I think Danny DeVito's Penguin is great because he is comedic. I mean, Seth Rogen, I don't know if he would have done comedy, but in his own way. I mean, you can't deny the comedic aspect of the Penguin sitting in a little Batmobile arcade thing, like taking control of Batman's car, and he's on like the screen.
I don't want that from this Batman
Oh,
movie.
that'd be so good.
That can stay in the 90s.
He needs to say that quote too, like they're gonna play me like a harp from hell or whatever he says. They can pull so much good stuff from Burton's movie. I'm just saying, but
They're not going to do any of that, folks.
I don't know. Then I don't know who they're gonna cast now as Penguin, but it just kind of makes me wonder because you posted that list that was posted earlier this year of all these potential castings for the characters in the Batman movie.
I'll
And
pull it up, yeah.
David, I had Jonah Hill, and then I had David Tennant as Riddler.
David
which is, like,
Tennant.
really, really
My
sought
My
after.
dude.
And I would want that too. I think that's great. But it just makes me wonder. Okay, what's going on here? So if that is like a, what do you guys say? S tier scoop? Is that like the highest?
Oh,
I don't know.
That
these
would be the
scoops.
that would be the highest tier, yeah.
Which scoop are you referring to? That photo or this news?
It was like you sent a photo of all
That-
the actors and
well,
the character names.
Because, yeah, that was no, don't tell people that. That's not an S tier scoop. That was on Reddit. And someone's like, I'm in production and I know what they're looking at. And here's the list.
Oh, that sounds like an F tier scooper.
Well,
Right there.
yes.
Jesus Christ, trusting Reddit for anything?
No.
Oh my God, are you crazy? Now you tell me this?
I said that.
How
in the
many of your
pho-
scoopers are from Reddit, Travis? I don't trust any of them. I don't trust
None.
a single one of them. Delete all of them. They're all F minus tier. Get rid of them. Jeez,
None of
Louise.
my scoopers are that. This list was
Well,
on. No.
you kind of just disproved your own point, did you not?
This is not my scoop because no. If you recall the message, I said this was from months ago, and we all wrote off. And I was saying we as like the internet wrote off because what happened was I'll just give you the big ones. It was Robert Pattinson as Batman, that became true. Jeffrey Wright as James Gordon, that became true. Zoe Kravitz as Catwoman, that became true. And then Hill as Penguin, and that was in the midst of becoming true.
Yeah.
Giancarlo Esposito as Lucius Fox, and he's been
John
rumored.
Cott?
Giancarlo Esposito. He's been rumored for casting, so that would make sense. And also Vincent D'Onofrio as Harvey Bullock because he's been tweeting at the director recently. So people are like, this could be 6 confirmed ones. So
this is, I mean, one is a fluke. 2 is like, okay, you're pretty
Yeah.
lucky, but you get 3 or more. That's fucking Hot
Okay,
Wheels.
but remember, this
That's why
comes
it
from
came back.
this comes from our fucking Reddit post.
But-
and here's the thing, Reddit posts, just like all those hundreds of millions of people who are out there on fucking Reddit dropping their Smash rosters. Oh, my dad works for Nintendo. These are the characters coming to the new Smash game. Yes, if you have 1,000 million people all dropping their debt, my dad works at Nintendo. Of course, one of them is going to line up and say, "Holy shit, they got like 6 or 7 right." It doesn't mean anything. It's from Reddit. I delete this news. That is no longer news to me.
I agree with you, but don't you think it is a little peculiar that they got?
Yes.
But that's. But
I don't know what you just said. Go ahead.
A little peculiar that Jonah Hill's gone, but at one point they had 4 confirmed out of that list, 4, and this was months ago. So that's why I agree with you. I don't believe it. I think it's just could be potential good guessing. But Taylor is also right where if there's 4 that are confirmed, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
And that's the thing also where
Let me ask you this: how many on troll accounts? How many Batman castings have you posted on the internet?
troll counts 0.
No.
No, I think this is the other thing to counter you too. That the reason some people like the Zoe Kravitz thing, why she got cast, these could just be the list of types of who they were looking for. So when Zoe Kravitz originally couldn't do it, the director said, "I want an actress that's a Zoe Kravitz type." And that's why they let's look at actresses that are kind of like Zoe Kravitz. So the same way, if we can't get Robert Pattinson, let's get someone kind of like Robert Pattinson.
So that's a
Discount Robert
list
Pattinson.
that's
That could be. That's why I'm wondering if that's
Oh.
on point. The director got their first choices, but a lot of these maybe like same thing. Adam Driver's Scarecrow. I don't believe that for one fucking second.
But if that's the case, then it's still like a true, very accurate list.
yeah, it
then,
could be.
so-
It could be. But like Dylan said, it is from Reddit and it's received. I just thought I would bring it up.
Oh, it's good to know for sure.
Dylan, you got any thoughts on Hill not being around, and then maybe this? Like, it looks like Rogan's probably done. Not gonna happen. But if
Yeah.
it were to happen,
Yeah, I think. I mean, not terribly surprisingly, I don't have much emotional attachment to these characters.
Mhm.
So whether or not a big star that I'm a fan of plays these characters or not, like it's not a do or die thing. Like there's a ton of other people who could play Riddler, like I have very little experience with Riddler. I've seen Batman 66, which is
Let's
definitely
go.
not the style of Riddler that, well, I imagine that Matt Reeves is going for.
Maybe he is.
Maybe he is. Who knows? If so, bring that guy back.
He's dead.
Yeah, I thought so. I shouldn't have said that. As for the... Yeah, so, I mean, if Riddler is the main villain, then obviously that is a big casting. That needs to be a big character, especially because I've always kind of seen Riddler as more of a side or smaller guy, not just from Batman 66, but just in general, just like how much depth can you really have with that character? I'm sure there's a lot more. He's probably been in many runs of from different writers and stuff, but yeah, I mean, obviously you got to get that one right. And if Jonah Hill wasn't going to fit with their vision, then I think it's a good choice to move on to other people for sure. As for Seth Rogen playing any character in the movie, yeah, we kind of had this debate in our group chat because Travis thinks he's just a comedic actor. He doesn't have the chops to do serious stuff. But the way I see it is there's so far from what we know of this movie is there's a lot of moving parts to it. It seems like there's going to be a lot of characters in here. And we already know that Riddler is probably your main guy. Mm-hmm. So any other villains in it are probably just going to have smaller roles, little, like a few scenes here or there. And I think Seth Rogen's definitely capable of that. Yes, he's mostly in comedic movies, but he does, even within those movies, has a lot of serious scenes, and he always nails it. He's a really good actor. So I think he's definitely capable of doing a more serious role, or if they want something like a little bit more comedic in this movie to change it up because the rest of it is going to be very serious and they want like a, quote unquote comic relief character, then boom, maybe he's the perfect role there as well.
Check out my SoundCloud link, just like Claw, Black Panther.
What?
Okay. He in the movie he says check out my SoundCloud link.
In what movie?
Black Panther, Claw, like kind of that.
Oh, okay.
Thinking, yeah.
Like that kind of comedy is what you're saying?
Yeah. Because he's a villain that is comedic relief. I'm not saying exactly
Penguin
like that,
is?
but no, Claw was. So I'm saying he could be
okay.
like that.
Yeah, sure. I don't know.
We're firing all cylinders today, ladies and gentlemen.
I didn't know where you're going with that, but yeah, I guess that's kind of where I stand on it. But just the same as Jonah Hill, like I really like Seth Rogen. I'm a big fan of his, and I think he can do the serious stuff. But if he's not in it, then I think that's fine. There's a ton of other people that could play that role. So
I'll say my point about Rogen, then I'll pose a question to you guys. My thing with Rogen is I don't think he's a bad actor, and he can do serious moments. I just don't think I've seen him in anything where I haven't been that Seth Rogen, and I just think if the Penguin has that Rogen laugh, that would just take me right out of it. It's just so memed about nowadays, and I thought Steve Jobs was going to be his big breakout thing, and I like him in that movie, but he didn't really disappear. I still always saw Seth Rogen, where Jonah Hill, and with Hill being gone, I'm fine. I really want him for Penguin, and I would have really liked him for Riddler, but I wasn't like sewed to the idea. I didn't need it to happen. He's not like one of my boys. So I'm like, okay, there's many other great actors that can play those roles. Seth Rogen, but the thing with Jonah Hill was versus Seth Rogen. Jonah Hill, I've seen in multiple things: Moneyball, Wolf of Wall Street, War Dogs, Maniac, where I've seen him disappear. And like, oh, this isn't Jonah Hill. I haven't seen that from Rogen yet. So I just that'd be my concern of seeing him as Penguin. That I would just see Seth Rogen. I think maybe there's some prosthetics that you do him that some different looks. But I don't like that look, so I'm kind of hoping the rumors of it maybe not happening anymore is gone. My thing I would oppose to you is I just think it would have been super risky if you would have had Hill as the Riddler and Rogen as the Penguin in the same movie. I just think on a poster and just in trailers right away, I just think that is, you just get super bad vibes. You get Pineapple Express. You get This Is the End, and I think, it could be both them doing their own different thing and breaking out, being serious.
If you had a trailer like that, people would think, oh, Judd Apatow's directing this movie.
Yeah, like it just reminds me when they're locked in the house. Is This the End? They make the Pineapple Express 2 sequel, and it's just like, oh look, we're making a Batman. Like if they made This Is the End 2, they would be joking like we were in a Batman movie together. Can you believe that? I just think it would be one or the other for me. Even if Rogen was cast, then I would not want them bringing Hill as the Riddler. I just think it could be very distracting as just the build up to it, So that was my hang up of those two being together. So
yeah, I definitely agree with that, and I think you make good points on why you wouldn't want Seth Rogen if that's the kind of actor you see him as.
Yeah.
And that's totally fair. And like that's kind of how I feel about Ben Affleck. I think that's one reason why I could never really get super into that Batman is because I always see just Ben Affleck on the screen. So that's definitely a fair criticism. But I think it's just so curious, like what the root is with this movie, with how many villains we've heard like rumors of and all the names we've heard brought up. It's there's definitely a lot in the works. So
Well, one thing I can tell you, even though I was close to being right in Jonah Hill and the Penguin, the rumor was more that it sounds like he was going to be the Riddler. I feel like so far, like Jeff Wright, Robert Pattinson, maybe a little controversial, but whatever, people are over it, and Zoe Kravitz, so far have been met with relatively praise or kind of like, oh, I get that. The villains so far, and that's why I think all the people we picked aren't going to be anywhere, because like I would never have picked Hill or Rogen to be on the list of Batman villains, so I think Matt Reeves is trying to go outside the box and think someone.
I think
that we're
even
not
if you
get.
take because the first of the trilogy, take it as just like a heavily focus on Batman, like that character, your Alfreds, your I don't know if they want Robin, whatever it is, like
Gordon,
just focus on your protagonists first in this one, and maybe the villains are just a smaller role just to have a little bit of action in the movie or something.
Yeah.
And maybe that's a good way to do it. In which case, I'm really excited for Robert Pattinson and Zoe Kravitz, just because I don't have much experience with them. I mean, I'm going to go see Lighthouse next week, but yeah, I've only ever seen like a bit of Twilight, and that's my only experience of Robert Pattinson, which is definitely not like Batman, not like the style this character is going to be. So I'm always down to see some actors, like some new actors in these big roles, just to see what they can do.
That's my question to you, until you can ask this, because I brought this up with Gordon. Now Zoe Kravitz. Pattinson, I think, is the biggest, and then you got Jeffrey Wright. I still feel that they are getting a lot of not massive names, like even Rogen
definitely.
and Hill, I think, are big, but they're not
names that or like you've seen this actor before, but no one that like I shouldn't say no one, but people that you haven't like seen them starring in a role, I guess.
Look at Nolan, the first one, Batman Begins, like Michael Caine, Morgan Freeman, Liam Neeson. These are all like Oscar winners. People knew they had their big films. I don't like even Zoe Kravitz. I don't think people really they know her as Lenny Kravitz's daughter.
Yeah,
right?
like I've seen her in a couple things, but I still didn't even know her name until that news came up a couple days ago. So
I'm wondering what the budget is on this, and I'm hoping if it deems a smaller budget, they can, because Joker has already made, I think it's coming up to about 12 times its budget back. So they've shown that you don't need to go make $200 million to be successful. Taylor, what do you think about like the star power of this movie? Do you think like these names are big and attracting, or do you think like it's, I don't know, where do you lie on that?
Well, just off the hop with just Robert Pattinson, I mean, he was the only name that I was familiar with. I didn't recognize.
Out of all these so far?
Other than the ones who are gone. Yeah. He was the only one I was familiar with.
Yeah.
But it's coming together, and it's definitely like it's very different from like Christopher Nolan, what he did. Because I mean, obviously in that case, I knew who Christian Bale was. I knew Morgan Freeman.
You knew who Christian Bale was, really? I'm surprised.
I knew of his name.
That high pitched doesn't what did you know him from? I'm just
I
curious.
can't remember. I have to talk to like Taylor like 10 years ago.
Well,
Travis
Michael Caine's his name, right? Like as Alfred, another big role.
Yeah, another guy that I
Michael
knew, and then definitely Liam Neeson and such. And
Katie Holmes was like a big like teen throb, right?
Definitely didn't
like,
know her.
No, did you know Katie Holmes?
Who is she now? You're saying did I in the past? Like, do I know her now?
No, she's.
Well, I guess now that you mentioned like some of those names from Nolan's trilogy, like a lot of those people we've seen in other Nolan movies, so there's like already that familiarity there. If you've just,
Gary Oldman,
if you've just seen like his work already with Scarecrow and Alfred and whatnot, those roles.
Here's a fun curveball. You guys don't have to answer if you don't have a question. Pick another crew member from the Apatow movies to put as the Riddler.
The first one that came to mind, oh my god, I can't remember his name. The kind of squirrely guy, the skinny guy.
Jay Baruchel?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow, interesting.
I don't know why. That was just the first name that came to mind.
That'd be pretty good.
Mm-hmm. Don't take mine. I'm gonna let you go, but don't take mine.
Were you gonna say Tom Franco?
No. Oh, you're gonna say James
I mean,
Franco?
I'm down for
James Franco was my
I
thought.
one day fan casted James Franco as the Riddler a long time ago when I felt like he was actually
I could see
acting, but nowadays
as Tommy Wiseau. James Franco as Tommy Wiseau as the Riddler.
Come on. Is that your pick to James Franco?
Yeah, my Tom Franco pick was just a joke, but I would do probably James Franco because Jay Baruchel is actually a really good pick. I think,
or Martin Starr, he's funny.
I thought you were gonna go Michael Cera, to be honest. Just
I thought that's what you were gonna pick, but I couldn't see Michael Cera being Riddler. I just picture him from This Is the End.
He wasn't my fan cast, and I want him for a different role in the MCU. But Bill Hader's my go-to in this, just because he's slender. I could see him popping off those riddles. I could see him with the cane, and Bill Hader's just on fire right now. So that's one. At least again, I could see some dramatic side. So. Gonna be interesting. Now we got more Batman cast news in the future because we've lost 2 actors, so that's always fun. So
I mean the way you say that makes it sound like they passed away. They're just not in the project.
Which honestly, there could be a chance in 2 weeks, like again, Jonah Hill's actually signed, and it was just like ploy thing, you know. So another ploy thing that's happening over in the Marvel Feige world is Marvel has promoted Kevin Feige to just the CCO, Chief Creative Officer. He is just running game on everything. King Kevin, he just controls everything now. He controls the TV, he controls Marvel Entertainment, he controls Marvel Studios as he already did, and he controls Marvel's Family Entertainment, then he controls the publishing side. Hang on. So comics, TVs, movies, he all controls. What do you want to say, Taylor?
I wasn't going to interrupt you. I was just waiting for the moment to break in
I was
there.
talking, you're...
I didn't make. You can listen and playback. I didn't make a single noise. I got my lips perched and ready.
Yeah.
So who did he get fired to take this job, or did he just get the position created for him?
I think kind of created for him. I think there's people that were doing that, but they kind of not necessarily created, but kind of handed it down to him.
The Star Wars guys were knocking on his door, so like, shit, we need to give him a raise. Let's needs to come with a title as well. Let's make this roll up.
That is because we have some other news to talk about with Feige, but that is an interesting thing that we had that Marvel news or the Star Wars news, and everyone's like, "Oh, he's gonna run Star Wars." But I wonder if this throws a monkey wrench into that, and if he's
gonna bring Ryan back to do his trilogy.
Ryan Johnson.
Yeah.
I don't think
that's
what
the director we're talking about. Guys running the.
I meant like because who would take over for Kathleen Kennedy? I still don't know what's going on there because if there is a possible setup, I still feel like
that seems like that's way too much responsibility for one person.
It is.
That's you would need. I mean, I'm already convinced that Feige has like a time machine or some way to stop time, but
Time Turner,
yeah. But yeah, shit, throw all the Star Wars stuff at him too, especially with Disney Plus now, where they're going to be cooking up stuff like twice as much as they were already. Like, no way.
I think he can do it. I think all he's got to do is sign the Marvel checks and just direct a Star Wars movie.
Well, he's not directing a Star Wars movie.
Produce it.
Yeah. And I agree with that. But I mean, like, people are talking about, could he take over Star Wars? That's I think he's still going to produce a movie because there could be a world where it's just one movie and he's done. But the other thing is, I do wonder if this is setting up someone to take over Marvel Studios because technically he's running that. But
true.
I wonder if this is going to be the way. Oh, he'll put someone there and he's still the overseer of all Marvel stuff. So whoever is the new Feige will report to him, but he's not being Feige anymore. He's either being Feige in Star Wars, or I agree with some other people that I think he will get one of the top positions in Disney just because look at what he's done. So that will be interesting to see.
I was curious. So you said comics, TV shows, and obviously the movies like he already was. You also said
animation too.
Animation?
Yeah.
Is that those four? I guess.
I think Marvel Entertainment is video games, animation, all that type of stuff. It's everything that's not Marvel Studios.
Okay.
Yeah, so video games are his, but sounds like he's not really directly dealing with that side. He is someone doing that reports to him.
That's kind of what I was curious about. Like when it comes to the comic side, we've talked about before how before Feige jumped into this role as running the MCU and planning it all out, he had worked on so many Marvel movies before that, comic book movies before, getting his getting his hands in there and figuring it all out, figuring out what works and what doesn't. And then even we talked about one time he just had like some notes on what was the movie? He like
Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Yeah,
they
just
send
some
him
notes.
a copy.
And it was really interesting to read like his thoughts on that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm curious, like, okay, you put him in the role of talking about comic books now. Like, I don't know how much has he worked with actual comic books. Like, that seems like a weird thing for him to get promoted to that role for me, because obviously a lot of this stuff is based off comics. He's probably reading comics, but if he hasn't worked in that field before, then maybe he's not the right guy for that job. Or maybe they're like, I don't know what comic book sales are like. I can't imagine they're where they used to be, but maybe they are because of the popularity of the movies. I know it's different because it's going digital now. It's like this weird spot. I don't really know too much about that market, but perhaps that's something where they're wanting more of a connection between the comics and these things on Disney Plus and the movies. And, you know, as like on the DC streaming app, they have like comic books and stuff. So maybe that's something they're looking to do more connections there. And like, I know even for, I can't remember what movie it was, some movie recently, Marvel movie where they recommended like the required reading, like this is what you should check out. So maybe that's something they want to double up on, and that's why they're also putting them in the head of there, and that way they can connect more of it and maybe generate more sales for comics. But to me, that one seems a little weird. And then animation, I mean, what's even like, what does that entail right now?
There's like an Avengers TV show. There's a Guardians TV show. It's kind of like stuff for.
So I'm not dialed into that world at all.
No,
so.
I'm not either. I'm excited because they said the Guardians and Avengers show is going to be on Disney Plus. So I'm going to watch all those with Gwen. I'm bitter about the Avengers show.
I'm going to watch the shit out of that X-Men show. I'm excited to finally watch it.
I'm bitter about the Avengers because that new one canceled the old one, Earth's Mightiest Heroes, and that's one of the best animated series. That's going to be on Disney Plus as well. But I think with that and the comics for now, I think he won't dip his toes in too much. I think what you're saying, those ideas about like the synergy and adding them to Disney Plus, I think those are great ideas. I think he could do that, but I don't think he'll be like, okay, I really want like a Deadpool meets Squirrel Girl comic. Like, do that. Like, I think Joe Quesada's still running the comic, so I think they'll kind of just keep it that way until there's like a problem, or like let's say Joe Quesada retires. It's like, okay, Feige, you need to put someone else in that position.
I just wonder, like, even if he had a really, really hands-on approach, like, how deep does his knowledge go? Like something like when Taika Waititi got cast to do Thor Ragnarok, like it's like, what? Like, that's such a wild random pick, but it fucking worked out really, really well. And I don't know if he'd be able to make that kind of connection for a comic book. Like that just seems something that he's been so in depth with the movies for so long that he decided that would be a good fit.
Yeah, I think this is almost not so much his choice as well. I'm sure he's happy about, but I still do think it's Disney / Uncle Bob being like, we're going to give Feige a lot more responsibility and let's see if he cracks. Because if they want to give him one of those big positions, that the studio is a big thing, but he has to do so much more now. Like Bob Iger, he has to do Star Wars, Pixar, all that. So it's like, eventually, if you want to be one of those top dogs, you got to do more. So it's like, okay, give him everything else. Let's see what he does. You know?
Yeah, I mean, it's possible he's already been doing some of this stuff.
I
just
think
kind of uncredited or dipping his toes in it, or they've been talking about it for years at this point, possibly. So I don't know. Maybe it's not new. Maybe it's just to the public it's new, but he's already been doing it. Who knows? Well,
I think a little bit as far as, remember we were talking about like Ghost Rider news. I think he's kind of maybe already had his hands and toes in some.
Yeah,
pockets.
I mean, obviously, the day the news drops, it's already been going on before that. Yeah, obviously, but yeah.
Ted, any thoughts on him running stuff before we get into the these Netflix Marvel rumors?
Yeah, I got a question for you. 3, 2, 1. Who would you pick to replace him?
Feige?
Yeah.
I think just the Marvel movies. You mean like what his previous role?
What his previous role is? Yeah. 3, 2, 1.
I think his name is Louis Esposito. He's one of the producers that works under Feige, so that makes the most sense.
I'd pick Travis Snow.
I wouldn't want that
responsibility. A lot of responsibility, but.
I like that guy's name. It's like, say it again.
I think it's Louis Esposito. I think.
Esposito.
I know his last name.
Rhymes with Despacito.
I know his. Okay, I know. So Feige, why'd you pick him? Well, his name rhymes with Despacito.
Oh, yeah.
I know his name's Esposito. I'm not 100% sure, but I think it's Louis D. Esposito. So, yeah, I just think whoever Feige's been working with, that's right. And I think there's another producer as well. I can't remember. I can't remember her name. I swear it's a female, and that's the bad thing, as we'll learn those names. Same thing. We didn't know who Feige was until he became a meme and it was a big thing. So once they take over,
that's very true.
Yeah, and maybe that's the thing. Maybe these. I think because he has 2 producing partners.
Maybe they Bullet Feige.
Yeah, Kevin the Bullet Feige. Maybe they both take over. So I don't think there's an. I'm not gonna say like J.J. Abrams, but like it's not a director. You need a producer. You need someone. Same thing as Kathleen Kennedy. People might not love her Star Wars thing, but she did Indiana Jones. She did E.T. Like she has
ideally someone who's been alongside Feige for a while.
Yeah, and you don't want a director because a director would want to go make the movie and then like, oh, what do you think about Black Panther 3? Like, I don't care. I'm working on Fantastic Four. It's like, well, we need you here. It's like, oh, well, I'm working on the dailies over here. And like, well, that doesn't help us. That's why Feige's not going to direct anything because he's kind of the over director, right? He's like a king in this cast. Like,
God, I'd say.
He's going to be soon. At one point, they're just going to announce Feige owns the Earth. And we're like, well, I guess so. He deserves
Feige
it.
Pretty much. Disney's got enough dollars.
So along with this, there were some rumors, I'd say, from the B tier C plus category people. But this is kind of similar people that were talking about the Ghost Rider thing, that apparently Feige is working on getting some of the Marvel Netflix characters, and not characters, but actors back in the role. They said that specifically ones like Inhumans and Iron Fist, those would be ones, anything that was not critically loved would be rebooted and things like that. We've heard rumors that Lockjaw is going to be in Miss Marvel, and she is technically like her origin spawns from Inhumans, so it sounds like they might kind of use some Inhuman stuff there. But there's been multiple reports, but the biggest one of everyone stressed that he apparently loved Charlie Cox as Daredevil / Matt Murdock, and the 2 that come the most are him and Jessica Jones. There's been less reports about Bernthal, but those have been the only 3 ballied around as those are the ones he'd be looking at bringing back. The other thing I've heard is potentially that might stop this is if they can't get the Netflix back catalog, that might make them recast them because they wouldn't have those old episodes, which for me, before you guys go, I think is a strange thing because I think either way, those wouldn't be on Disney Plus. You don't want to ignore their story, but at the same point, like Jessica Jones and Daredevil are even Punisher too. Those aren't Disney Plus shows. You look at that lineup, there's nothing higher than PG-13 or anything close. Like not anything dark. The dark thing I'd say are the Marvel and the Pirates movies. So I'm surprised by this.
Moon Knight up in the air. Like who knows
Yeah,
what
yeah.
they'll do with that.
I think it'll be the same thing as close as, I don't know, like a Civil War Endgame, like as hard as they can go with PG-13, but I think they'll for sure make it PG-13. Yeah. So, what do you think about possibly those people coming back when we kind of thought we kind of wrote them off?
Well, I mean, even Deadpool's still kicking around. He's in the mix, so
Yeah.
I'm really curious if Disney Dark, Disney After 9 sort of thing become like
Disney
maybe
After
there's
9.
some parental options they can have on Disney Plus to ban those shows from kids or something. I don't know. Is that something they're even interested? I
But
have
then
no
you
idea.
get that one complaint where the parents like they found out
Yeah,
my
of
password
course.
and they watched Punisher mow down a guy.
Then that's the parent's fault. If the parent picks
It
a
is,
shitty password.
but it is. But Disney's the company that doesn't want that around them. They don't want
Yeah,
those.
they're not
They
toying
don't. They
around with
want
that
to.
too
They
much.
care about their public image a lot.
Well, it's helped. It worked. They're the biggest company one of the biggest companies in the world. So it
Pretty
makes
big.
sense, right?
Pretty
Yeah.
sizable.
Yeah.
Yeah. As for these cast, we'll talk about who we'd like to see in these roles, possibly in the Marvel Knights cast. But
Mhm.
I definitely want some of these people back for sure. Like I think for me, the two that there's kind of three that I think are perfect. Number one is John Bernthal. That to me is like a once in a lifetime level casting. That is
That's Hugh Jackman.
amazing.
Yeah.
Like that is Punisher to me now, and I think it'll be really hard. Like the next person who plays Punisher will have big shoes to fill. From my perspective, at least, when I go to watch that show, I am expecting high class, especially if it is a toned down version, a PG-13 version. I feel like that's just between a different casting and the rating. Like I feel like that's going to just feel like a downgrade to me. So that one is going to be hard to fill. And then Jessica Jones, Kristen Ritter, like she just has the perfect look for it. I think it's possible that you could get someone else to do that role. I've already started working on my Marvel Knights casting. That one
tough.
I'm really struggling with. So that's a tricky one. And then the other one I think is actually Mike Coulter as Luke Cage, because to me he just has the perfect look. Like when I see Luke Cage in like Ultimate Alliance, when I see him from like the comic book strips, Mike Coulter just has that perfect aesthetic. He has the build for it. The way his bald head looks great. The facial hair, the eyes, like it's just perfect. Now, even though I don't love the Luke Cage like season 1 or 2, I think they're just decent, all right shows.
Go check them out. We reviewed them all.
Yeah, we have. And at times I don't even love his acting in it. Particularly season 1, I wasn't really that impressed. But I just think he looks the role so well. Now, Charlie Cox is a weird one because Daredevil, of all the Marvel Netflix shows, is by far my favorite. Like one of my top 10 shows of all time. I love that show so much. Yet I could see other actors doing Daredevil, doing that character and doing it well. I still want Charlie Cox. He'd be my number one pick right now, but I think I could definitely see other people doing that role. So that one I'm okay with, like some recasting. But if Feige likes them, then I think they have the power to bring that in. Like just shell over a few million to Disney. I don't know if that's worth it for that character, for an actor who isn't the only thing I know him from is Daredevil. I couldn't even name you another movie or show he's been in. So
Stardust. So do you think? Because I'm in the camp where I just feel they could, if let's say they don't. I don't know what they do with these shows, but if they're non-Disney Plus, couldn't they just ignore those shows and just say this is Matt Murdock, and not even they got to retell his origin, just be like, this is who he is, and he's doing
like
some
just kind of
adventures.
starting off from today.
Yeah.
Like that stuff happened, but they can't explicitly talk about it.
Because clearly, if they wanted
like
to,
reboot, would you
well,
think?
no, if they bring him back, clearly they could bring back D'Onofrio's Kingpin or anything they want. So I don't think you need to talk about it. You could just be like, he's a lawyer, and he can just allude to things that have happened in the past.
And I mean,
but
you can. Yeah, I guess like one way you could get over a lot of it with the snap, like that. The way that changes things, you could. I mean that and like multi-dimensions. Even the multi-dimensions right there, like that is just a loophole in the system. Now that they've established that in this world, like they can really do whatever, as we've talked about. That's like how Deadpool could make a perfect entrance or something.
Yeah.
So I think there's definitely ways to do it where you can say, hey, these are the same characters, but maybe from a different dimension. Here they are. They're just in New York now. I don't know. Maybe the snap has something to do with it. That time dimension of it changes things. Not too sure, but I think they could get away with that. I think people would be okay with it.
Because, man, I'm dying. And I wonder if Feige's saying the same thing. Spider-Man's been out long enough. Peter Parker's going to need a lawyer in that next movie. And goddamn, like that. I know people have thrown out She-Hulk. Bring them both. But Daredevil, that'd be the perfect way to introduce him in the MCU. That'd be so good. She-Hulk already has a show. Make them on opposing sides. I don't know. Make Daredevil. And that'd be fun. Almost like check out the animated series Retro. Daredevil represented Peter Parker in that episode, but you can make the reverse where maybe Charlie Cox is on the other side.
Yeah,
he has like an
true.
antagonist
Yep.
sort of role, and then he's a good guy. I want Cox back so bad. Feige loves Cox apparently, so I think that's perfect casting. Taylor, what do you think about this? Because you've your boy Iron
You're
Fist
an Iron
not
Fist
making
guy.
it.
I love
He's
Iron
not
Fist.
included in the rumors.
No.
Yeah, it's a shame.
He's
No,
in the,
he
he's
was.
in the Reddit rumors.
Yeah, he was. He was in the specifically this show would not come back. It was that
Okay,
and
there you
Inhumans.
go.
That and Inhumans were the only ones listed. These ones would not come
Danny
back.
Rand,
Rip
he
Ward.
was
Rip
my
Ward.
Yeah.
gateway into the Netflix, Marvel shows.
I don't
you
say
know.
gateway because gateway implies you started to watch everything else. That was just your sole
Yeah.
tunnel vision. That was just your
True.
tunnel vision.
Not a
You didn't even
gateway.
watch Defenders, which had Iron Fist in it.
I'm getting to that. I gotta
No,
watch
you're
the other
not.
shows.
You're such
first.
a
Daredevil.
liar.
I gotta watch the other
Just watch
shows.
fucking
before
Daredevil and be
that.
done with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I would want them, if they're going to bring these characters or these actors in reprising the same characters, I would want them to just disregard what happened in Netflix shows. Just let that be its own thing and then just start new stories with
Jonah
these characters.
style?
Well, yeah,
Yeah,
you can't
yeah.
you can't do too much. You can't. Yeah, you just can't feasibly make it. You need to see these shows to understand their stories because
Mhm.
they don't want to promote Netflix there.
Yeah, it'd be too much, and just you got the creative control, so do whatever you want with it. And I'm totally okay with them, bringing back these actors like John Berthnall and
Charlie Cox. Christian Ritter.
yeah, they should definitely do that if they delivered in these roles. And all I've heard is good things. I haven't heard anything bad, so I don't see any reason why they should
Bullseye?
not bring them
Ooh.
back. Bullseye.
I
Bullseye's
want the
great.
same thing. I want D'Onofrio's Kingpin messing around with Spider-Man.
Uh-huh.
That'd be great.
I do look forward to seeing these characters interact in this kind of environment with the MCU, like the official MCU, and just kind of see what's going on. And you're right, you could use the snap in a million different ways to kind of worm these guys into the story. I'd love to see Daredevil represent Peter Parker, as a lawyer if they go that route or whatever. I don't know. I'm curious because are they recasting Danny Rand, or is it just not on their to-do list?
Well,
for Iron
so
Fist?
here's a spoiler for Marvel Knights fan cast that we're doing 2 weeks. I didn't put Iron Fist on the list just because I'm kind of Dylan's camp. I think Shang-Chi is going to take that kung fu spiritual
Mystical.
fighter, like fights a dragon type of guy. I don't know because it's the same thing with me and Kristen Ritter is. We'll get to Punisher in a second. I don't know, honestly, where that character would fit in the MCU because her adventures so far have been so minor.
Yeah, but you can say the exact same thing about Blade.
I agree, but the thing is, at least with that, like, we're getting Moon Knight, we're getting Doctor Strange. That seems like a vision. I don't know where we need a PI yet, but I'm sure maybe that's where She-Hulk could use her, right?
She-Hulk, yeah.
So that's her. I know that maybe she would. I think she'd be more. I think she would be the Disney Plus side. I think Charlie Cox could go into the movies. Could be their new Black Widow. If he's a human that's just really good at stuff, So with her, I just wonder with Luke Cage. I think hers is a little more complicated because she in the comics gets married to Luke Cage. They have a kid. That's a popular run right now. So it's just the fact of like. That'll be a little strange. That would they bring back Mike Coulter? I don't think they would. I think they would recast him. I think there's a lot of bigger actors out there that would put that there. And the same thing with Danny Rand. I don't know. I wonder if they would just put those characters on the back burner for a bit. Clearly, there's a reason if these rumors are true that these are 3 that are listed. So clearly, Feige would have plans. I think Marvel's plans with Punisher. I would, of course, love him being Spider-Man. I think Tom Holland and John Berthnall, that's the crossover I want. I don't want him and Venom. But I think he is firmly planted in the Midnight Suns if we get John Berthnall. We've talked about this before. I think that goes with Moon Knight, Doctor Strange, Blade. And to see on screen John Berthnall's Punisher with Mahershala Ali's Blade, that would be some spicy stuff.
That would be godlike.
Yeah, that could rival the Avengers movies in my opinion. So, and this is something you brought up, Taylor, that we were talking about Deadpool and these people in the group chat. I just don't see, and that's why with the Netflix shows, I don't think Netflix would sell them just because I think Netflix is going to be just an asshole about it. That's why they canceled these shows. I think they don't want to even help them out. So if I'm Feige, I just say just ignore it, start over, just have them, they're these characters, move forward. I just don't see them starting any rated R branch right now. It's working out. I know everyone's losing their mind over Joker and like this is the future of comic movies. I don't think it is. You know, it's the biggest movie of all time, Endgame. That's PG-13. I don't think Disney's like, oh, good, the clown movie made a lot of money. Let's switch our thing. It's like, no, Spider-Man hit $1 billion, Captain Marvel hit $1 billion, Endgame hit $2 billion.
Yeah,
almost
I feel like
3.
Marvel's firmly in their own lane. I don't think they really care a whole lot what DC's up to right now.
Yeah, so that's I don't think Punisher, I don't think Deadpool, I don't see any of those having a radar thing. I think they're in the MCU. If they're in the MCU, it's PG-13. If they're not, they're on their own. So I just don't think with Deadpool, unfortunately, I think there's a chance you'd get Ryan Reynolds booted and a PG-13 Deadpool before if he was like, I'm only doing radar Deadpool, and that's it. I think they'd be like, sorry, Ryan, we're going to have to part ways with you, and we're just not going to do this right now. You know, I just don't see a radar Marvel happening right now. Doesn't make sense.
I think if Feige wanted Ryan Reynolds enough when they brought him into the office, they would pitch him something that he just couldn't turn down. And I think whether that's money or just a script or a storyline that just fits really well. Yeah, I think they could do it.
I think Reynolds will stick around. I think the only thing with Reynolds, because that was some news Dylan's referring today that he took a photo. He's at Marvel Studios. I think the only thing that's complicated with Deadpool is I think they're gonna wait until after they do an X-Men movie. I don't think they want the introduction of the X-Men, the Mutants, to be Deadpool, to be spoofy. So I think they're probably like, hey, there's gonna be an X-Men movie coming out in 2023, but we gotta wait till then till we do you. I just don't think they want that to be the introduction to Cyclops and Jean.
Do you think that then that makes good sense, but do you think then they would tie in Deadpool with Tom Holland's Spider-Man after that? Because they get the one movie and then they get the...
I don't think they have the time. Spider-Man 3 is coming out 2021.
You said X-Men is 2023?
No, that's just a guess. I'm just saying, like, because we know the earliest it would be is 2022. Because we only have up to 2021, right?
So if we get Spider-Man 3 in 2021, and then they do an X-Men, and then we get one more Spider-Man after that, but not a film.
We don't.
Oh, I thought you said we get two more, a film of him, and then like a crossover.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It wouldn't be Deadpool and Spider-Man. Like, I guess you could do a Deadpool movie and have Spider-Man in it. I guess you could do that. Yeah. Technically.
So I think that's what a lot of people... I know that's what I want. I really want to see the two together.
Yeah.
I love the comics.
Yeah. I just think no one's going to talk me out of they don't use Spider-Man for a non-Avengers movie or huge crossover, in my opinion. I think he'll always be... And maybe that's it. Maybe he's in X-Men, which could be weird. But, yeah. Lots of balls in the air. Apparently, Feige's juggling a lot of them. So
juggling a lot of balls.
A lot of balls and cocks.
It's just very exciting that even after D23 and Comic-Con, there's still, like, this news breaking and Deadpool, there's still so much we don't know about the future of the MCU, you know?
I know. And, like, X-Men, Fantastic Four is still in the oven.
Silver Surfer, Doom, all that stuff. So yeah, I'm very excited for next year's Comic-Con. It's I hope we get some more juicy stuff. So anything else on this topic, boys?
No, I mean the Marvel Knights cast. I think we'll kind of dive back into this one pretty soon.
Yeah, we'll give Feige the template of, hey, if you don't bring those people back, here's who you should pick. So let's see. Other movie news I was just going to quickly shout out. They announced Matrix forecasting. Yahya Abdul number 2 is he's the guy that played number 2.
Sorry, can you say that again? I don't know.
I forgot his last. I think I know it's Yahya Adim, and I forgot his last name, but it's the second. He's the guy that played Black Manta.
Okay.
He's gonna be in the Matrix 4. They announced Neil Patrick Harris, and then they also announced Jessica Winchek who played Colleen from Iron Fist.
Colleen.
Yeah, so I'm not going to go on big rants. I'm just very happy with that cast, and I'm very excited for this movie. Just in the sense I'm very intrigued by it. But yeah, it's shaping up, and you got Keanu coming back. You got other people coming back.
Keanu.
So. Yeah. Any thought? You've seen Matrix, right, Taylor? Or no?
No, I've seen it like a long time ago.
2 and 3?
Yeah, I'd have to rewatch them because I just remember the no sun thing and Keanu waking up nude, and
I think we'll very likely do a retro when that
would
movie
be very
comes out. It's only 3 movies.
Could be fun.
It's going to be a big thing. So yeah, that cast shaping up. Neil Patrick Harris, don't sleep on him. He's a very good dramatic actor. So
Gone Girl.
Yeah, Gone Girl, American Horror Story. So I threw these in here. I forgot to watch one trailer. Did you guys watch the Dolittle or Jungle Cruise trailer?
Oh yeah.
I didn't watch Jungle
Cruise. You dropped
Cruise.
this midday, to be fair. So
I did.
I'm out here in the office working.
Jungle Cruise I didn't watch because I didn't care about, and we were going to add on this when we thought we had lower topics, but luckily news was dropping, so we had that. Dolittle, I don't know what's happening. I don't know why Robert Downey's doing this. This is his future after Iron Man. It's just all the paintings on the wall, other than Split, the 3 months, and now it's gone, but the 3 months that used to be, anytime these movies would come on this month, you knew it was a trash fire, and the studios didn't believe them. That was August, that was January, and February. February's gone away. Get Out's come out, Black Panther. February's a huge month now. January, like I said, other than Split, not good. And August is always toilet bowl stuff. So the fact that this is coming out in January, this movie has a $175 million budget. So that also means it has to make double that to just make a profit. I think we're going to, unfortunately, him and his team are going to learn that. I think people want to see Robert Downey, but I don't think they want to see Robert Downey in anything. I don't think that's the case. I will not see this movie. And this trailer looked very cheesy, I just didn't understand why he's doing it. This is one of his first moves. So yeah, gonna be a big bomb, and I will not.
You're not gonna take your kids to see it?
At home, but no, I can dictate what my kids see. That's the great thing with Disney Plus. There's gonna be so much stuff. We'll be catching up on that.
That's true.
Why when I can spend?
Can you believe that's out in like a month?
Yeah,
like
I can spend $90 to get the whole year of Disney Plus, opposed to the 30 or 40 for this movie. If we all go, nah. So yeah, no Dolittle and Jungle Cruise. I don't care about because it just looks like The Rock's doing another jungle type Jumanji movie.
Yeah, I was pleasantly surprised with the what was that, 2017 as the other Jumanji?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was pleasantly surprised with that movie. I enjoyed it quite a bit. I mean, I like all that cast. I'm not really a Kevin Rock fan, but the other three I like them all.
Who?
What's his name? Kevin Hart.
Kevin Rock.
Jesus. Kevin Hart.
That will be his name after The Rock adopts
That
him.
goes to show how not big a fan I am. I can't even remember his name. Yeah, I'm not really a big fan of him. I just kind of find him annoying. His type of hero doesn't really fit me. But I enjoyed that movie. I didn't watch this trailer, but I've heard a lot of people are shitting on it. So I don't know, on the internet.
Poor Emily Blunt.
People aren't liking it. So what's wrong with it? What's wrong with the trailer, Taylor?
I watched half of it with no audio, and I just thought this just looks exactly like Jumanji. You know,
did you watch Jumanji without sound on? How does that make sense?
I should have, but no. It's just
You
everything. Everything I was.
What does that mean?
I don't even know. Everything I was watching this trailer, like for the first 40 seconds, is like this is like Jumanji. You know, I feel like it's Jumanji. I like Emily Blunt. I think she's a great actress, and I like The Rock. I think he's hilarious. But I don't know. Like it looked like it was magical, and I'd be willing to see it. Like I don't know. I feel like I'm gonna put this into the category, of like Rampage and what was that other one? The world was
San
ending.
Andreas.
San Andreas. Yeah,
That was just an earthquake.
Those are like movies that of The Rock that I put. Oh, and Skyscraper. Those are movies I put into like the sidelines of like, okay, I don't need to see these in
Netflix
theater. Yeah,
day.
exactly. And I think that's where this is gonna fall
Yeah.
because I love Jumanji, what he did with Kevin Hart. I thought that was hilarious, and I'm excited for the next one.
Kevin Rock.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, no, Jungle Cruise will be put off to the side with Rampage, which I just saw a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, Jumanji. The first one was it was an airplane movie for me. Finally watched it when I don't know where I was, going to States somewhere or Nepal. I don't know what it was, and I think that's kind of where this one will be. I'll watch it on an airplane someday, probably.
Did you enjoy Rampage when you saw
like
it last week?
Yeah, I invited my dad over and we watched it. So
Didn't answer the question.
I liked it because it had a few moments that really caught me off guard. And I liked all the animals and stuff, but I felt I wanted more explosions and more fighting. And I wish that they didn't show the crocodile in like preview it.
Trailers,
yeah, I wanted to be surprised because I thought the wolf was cool and I thought George was cool. I don't get why George didn't like change into a mutated, like crazier, uglier version of what his former self, like the others did.
Because that doesn't look cute on a poster.
It doesn't. No,
they wanted him to be the friendly ape.
I thought George was gonna die. I thought George was funny when he faked his death. It's like, oh, you fucker, you. But the what was the other movie?
Well, hang on. Before that, I was gonna say this movie comes out next summer, so we'll see how that does. I don't know if it's gonna be a big hit, but maybe it'll be do good with families. Another thing I was gonna say, it's funny with Jumanji. Jesse Plemons is in Jungle Cruise. Okay, that kind of gets me a little excited now.
Jesse Plemons.
Check out our El Camino review. Me and Kirkland did. I find that Jumanji, you have Kevin Hart, which you feel that way, and I have Jack Black, that I feel that way about, and they're in the same movie. Do you have anyone Jumanji that really? Do you just hate Karen Gillan?
Don't
for some
shit
reason?
on Karen Gillan, man.
Honestly,
she's great.
no. I love her role in that more than I do Nebula.
Oh, fuck off!
I really do. I think she's.
I thought she was amazing in that movie. Yeah.
She is.
But compared to Nebula and Endgame, come on now.
No, I'm not saying it's bad. I think it's great, but like I really, really liked her Endgame role. Definitely is like okay. It's above performance for me than.
That's great. Is there anyone in Jumanji that annoys you, like Kevin Hart does for Dylan or Jack Black does for me? Because if it does, then there's like a trifecta of this movie. Just as someone that triggers all of us. No, you don't.
No, honestly, I think all four of them just really blended well with each other, and it was hilarious. I mean, maybe the boy.
I don't think there's anyone who doesn't like The Rock.
The boy pilot, I didn't really care for that much. That actor or whoever.
Nick Jonas.
Yeah, I didn't care for like what he was doing and that. He didn't bring anything to the table, I feel like.
Kind of
but,
fraudty, isn't it?
You're Mr. Positive. Nice socks, by the way.
yeah.
Do you have any actor that is? We've talked about like Ben Affleck, talked about like Seth Rogen, Jack Black. Do you have some person that you just can't watch, or it just doesn't do it for you, no matter what they're in?
That I can't watch?
Well, you can watch them, but you're always like, I just see this person, or I just
You're like
get
that's
annoyed.
Ben Affleck on the
Yeah,
screen.
because I feel like you're not really that specific on actors, you know.
I do have
I also
some.
feel the same about Anne Hathaway.
I love
Really?
Anne Hathaway.
That
explains
I
Dark Knight
fucking
Rises.
love Anne Hathaway.
That explains Dark Knight Rises. That's the only reason he hates that movie, even though
It's
he
not
loves
the only
Batman.
reason.
No.
Spain as well.
I
Bane.
love Anne Hathaway, but no, there's a few. I'd have to go back and rewatch a few movies because there's a few that I can't
It's not that
remember
big of a topic.
What?
It's a simple question.
because I don't remember who they are. But I need to watch the movie and get the context of like, okay,
What do
I
you mean?
fucking
I think
hate
the
this
answer is
guy.
no. Then if you can't,
No,
think of
I
someone,
do. There's been a few that I realized like I just fucking hate this
But
guy.
like not just like extras. I mean like a main actor, like someone
Okay,
we know.
I want this to be clear. I don't hate Ben Affleck.
Yeah,
it's just
yeah.
whenever I see him on screen, I'm like, that's Ben Affleck. That's
Yeah, like it triggers, like annoys you. Like there's not one main person. I don't need like the extra in the back of the room, a Man of Steel. I don't need that.
Well, that guy is a special kind of stupid.
Oh wow. Okay.
I don't know. I mean, we were
it's
talking earlier. I don't like the guy from. Okay, here's one. The guy from Fantastic Four, Doctor Doom. I don't care much for his character.
What
He kind of
else
bothered
what
me.
else have you seen of Julie McMahon?
Can we
What
move
a
on?
scene from him?
This is
Yeah.
Just our Fantastic Four and
that's
Rise of Silver
bullshit.
Surfer.
That's
So two
bullshit.
movies.
That's
Two
BS.
movies.
No, but you said that counts. You said, is there anything you watched that a guy
I
just
guess,
triggers
but
you?
like Dylan and I have multiple like examples of like the movies we've tried with these people. You just
No, he
you
reminds
didn't even
me,
know
like-
Julie McMahon's name till today.
No,
Who he's a
he-
great actor. He should have been Bond. Daniel Craig's great, so probably not. And go watch Nip Tuck because the first 4 seasons are some of the best television. After that, it gets really shitty.
He reminds
but
me.
I love every second of that
He
show.
reminds me of like a Jared Leto Doctor Doom because he walks
No.
in and he's like he's playing with his ring on his finger and he's like, hey, and he's like licking his lips like
One day-
just creeper look, you know.
First of all, Feige just announced those movies so we can retro them already. I cannot wait for us to watch the Fantastic Fours. But no,
Me
That's-
too. I
that's-
haven't never seen the Silver Surfer.
that script is not great, but he was a good choice for Doctor Doom.
I
Victor
like
Von
when he
Doom.
put the mask on it and he was right on the board because I thought I'm a big fan of people with
Why the
masks.
fuck are we talking about
Fuck
this
you.
random ass dude?
Julie
playing
McMahon's a
Doctor
great
Doom?
actor. Very underrated.
Anyways,
Doolittle,
Dolittle.
yeah.
Jeez, is that what you're talking about? Oh my god, my phone is just fucked.
Dolittle, yeah. I'm really I'm excited for this movie. I think it's very different. If it was just a remake where he was a doctor and then one day he starts hearing animals, like, well, we've fucking seen this already. But no, it's not. It's completely different. It's going on a magical journey. I'm totally gonna go see this. I think this looks wonderful and magical.
You're gonna see this, of course you are. You gonna
I'd
review
love
it?
to see this. I might try and review this. If I see it, I'll do a review for sure. But I'm really excited to see Robert Downey Jr. Fuck. Oh, Bruno. I love to see Robert Downey Jr. Fuck.
You want to see Robert Downey Jr. fuck Bruno? Quote Taylor Field.
I would love to see Robert in other roles aside.
right? This is a What's up, Zoe?
Robert.
Is he gonna start a movie with Zoe?
In other roles aside
Yeah, isn't
from
he
Tony
Rob
Stark.
as well? What's going on here?
No, not to confuse with Mr. Pattinson.
No, now it's Mr. Pattinson.
But, no, I just
Senior Pattinson.
Robert Pattinson.
But I really enjoy his other roles outside of the MCU. Like I love Tropic Thunder when he did that role, and I'm excited to see this. And I might go to
name another role other than that in Sherlock.
that he's done.
Yeah.
Oh fuck! I can't. I've just been laughing. I can't get my thoughts together.
Bullshit.
No, I can't. Fuck. Another role. Oh, I got one. What is it?
10 seconds.
10 seconds.
One.
Fuck.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
I can't
10.
fucking think. It's
Yeah.
stress test here.
And Dylan that whole time is looking very concerned for his phone. It was very scared.
It's actually working now. I just had
Oh,
to restart it, I
okay.
guess.
But no, I'm super excited. My main go-to here is Sherlock Holmes 3. That's just my favorite Robert Downey Jr. roles of all time.
Sherlock Holmes 3.
I'm really excited for Sherlock Holmes
Oh,
3.
okay.
With him and Jude Law, I love them as a duo. It's fantastic. I love Jude Law. So that's what I mean, that's got my excitement over Dolittle, but
I would hope so.
but yeah, no, I think Dolittle will be a good time. I'll see you in theaters. Hopefully, Dylan, you want to see it?
Dolittle, no. I didn't watch the trailer, but I don't want to see it.
The poster still tells them enough. Okay. Any other movie or TV news?
I don't think so.
Movie or
we broke it all
TV
down.
news? Oh boy, no, I don't got anything.
Bastard. Going on to video games news. Where do we want to start first? Either the Avengers or the PS5 stuff? I know you got some stuff, but those
I got
two.
some random stuff. Let's talk about PS5 because this was,
Boom.
I guess, both this stuff was kind of a couple weeks ago,
Mhm.
but we were going to do a newscast last week. Didn't end up happening, so that's kind of what happens. But yeah, so first of all, it's kind of weird. Like PS5 in general, like they're kind of just having some random interviews with these
Wired.
Wired, and that's kind of where all the information
Getting
comes
all
from.
the
That's where we
scoops.
got the stuff like hearing about the solid state drive and the load times and all that, just like the general idea.
Backwards compatibility as well. They
Yeah.
confirmed that first report.
Right. So that was back in like that was April, I want to say.
Yeah, that was easily springtime.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
because I remember it being when I was in Nepal when that stuff dropped. So somewhere in April, yeah. And then just a couple weeks ago, they did another interview and talked about some more stuff. So they detailed that it is officially called the PS5.
Thank goodness.
Yeah. I've actually heard a couple rumors that look that we saw, that kind of what I thought was just like a dev
Stadium?
kit might
Yeah.
stay. I really, really hope not, because that thing is ugly. It looks like a
Yeah.
modem. Like they better not go with that look.
It
These
looks-
off of Reddit. These rumors.
No, they were from actual devs because they've been
That image, we've seen that image because it was,
Yeah.
I don't know, it was like a trademark thing.
to me, the way he's used it as a moment, to me, the way I describe it is like a football arena or stadium. It's like it looks like in the middle,
Check
and then
this
there's
out.
like the bleachers all around it, like where you'd sit and
Mhm.
everything. So yeah, I was not a fan of that as
Yeah.
well. So I hope not. I really hope that's not the
Yeah.
look.
So they confirmed the name. They confirmed that it's going to release like, they didn't give a date, but holiday of 2020.
Is this it?
Yeah.
That's the one.
That's fucking wild.
It's a
Yeah.
pretty
It
weird
looks like a
looking thing.
heater, or like
Yeah.
I put my foot in there
Yeah.
and it ties my shoes.
Looks
or
like the
something.
Predator
It looks
brought
like a
that
modem
from his
that
planet.
fell over accidentally. So I really hope that's not like the final look, but it looks pretty small too. Like, I don't know, maybe if that's
Yeah.
chunky, that would be even weirder. Like,
Yeah, I don't want to be. The
Mhm.
only thing is just like even stacking stuff on that. Nothing. No stacking
Yeah.
anything. No discs. It's just gonna fall down.
right. And then the other stuff they talked about is some controller stuff. And I kind of wanted to read this because I think it's kind of interesting. But yeah, this is from that article. One of our goals of the next generation is to deepen the feeling of immersion when you play games. And we had the opportunity with our new controller to reimagine how the sense of touch can add to that immersion. To that end, there are two key innovations with the PlayStation 5's new controller. First, we're adopting haptic feedback to replace the rumble technology found in controllers. With haptics, you truly feel a broader range of feedback, so crashing into a wall in a race car feels much different than making a tackle on the football field. You can even get a sense of variety of textures when running through fields of grass or plodding through mud, which to me I think is pretty wild. And then the second thing is the second innovation is something we call adaptive triggers, which have been incorporated into the trigger buttons L2 and R2. Developers can program the resistance of the triggers so that you feel the tactile sensation of drawing a bow, an arrow, so horizon dawn, or accelerating an off-road vehicle through rocky terrain. In combination with the haptics, this can produce a powerful experience that better simulates various actions. Game creators have started to receive early versions of the new controller, and we can't wait to see what their imagination goes with these new features. So to me, this is really interesting stuff because, I mean, the one thing I loved immediately when they talked about the PS5 a few months ago was the essentially zero load times, or very, very little load times. So to me, that's a huge thing for immersion. That breaks me out of a lot of games, is when I just have to sit through a bunch of load screens. It doesn't feel like I'm in a connected world because I'm just having to wait for like a minute before I go through one door into another room. It feels really strange. So combine that with like these controller things, and I think that's really setting up some just like overall, to me, those two things together just are going to make for some really, really immersive games. It might take a couple years for the devs to, play around with this technology and figure it all out, especially if the controllers are just kind of getting handed out now. Who even knows what like launch titles are going to be and stuff like that. But I think that's pretty awesome what they're doing to controllers. I don't know what haptic feedback is like. I haven't experienced that, so I can't really compare it to Rumble. But to me, I have something that's a little bit more, I guess, like just different, something new. And especially what I was saying of like that feeling of like treading through some mud or like grass or something. I'm just picturing playing Horizon Dawn or something, just feeling like the brushstrokes of the grass as you walk through. And if it really is that immersive, then that's pretty cool technology. At least I think so.
Yeah,
I've always
I just gotta
kind of
feel it.
I've never been a big fan of Rumble. I think some games do it better than others, and I think Nintendo a lot of times just goes overboard with like tons of Rumble on little things. But yeah, I'm pretty for this idea. I'm excited for this.
Yeah, I just gotta feel it. When I read all this stuff, for me, it's kind of cherry on top. The biggest thing I wanted was the backwards compatibility, so I've kind of had that answered. They haven't answered this technically because people have said it might work the same way with Xbox and discs, but I imagine if I bought the games online, it's just gonna transfer over and just like with my account, oh, you've bought Batman or whatever. So as long as that's the case, I'm happy. I'm the person that I always say that like gaming right now, of course I want to evolve and get better and everything like that, but I'm the person that like if gaming never got any better, I'd be pretty happy because it's great. Gaming is just so great, whether it's a story aspect, whether it's gameplay, whether it's visual. So anything else now in gaming is just kind of like a cherry on top. It's the same way with pictures and movies and like 4K and this and that's like if they never make anything better than 4K, I'm like I'm happy with that. Just make great games. So the Rumble controller stuff I gotta wait to feel, but that all sounds great in theory. As long as it's not too distracting and it's more immersive, then that's a good thing. And I trust them. Sony's been, I think, because lots of people are like, oh, Sony, they're making some moves. Obviously, Sean Layden's gone, and Xbox has, been on roll as far as making some really fan service announcements. But I don't think they are going to drop the ball. I think they did that with PS3. I think they've been through that realm of already kind of losing a lot of people. So I think they're gonna, whether it's backwards compatibility, whether it's an answer to Games Pass, I think we're gonna get all that answered in whatever their reveal event is, and it's gonna be a very exciting time for just us, but the podcast.
I'm curious
as well.
how they're gonna do it, whether it's a state of play or.
I think
go back to E3
they've always done. They do their own separate event, like on a Tuesday at 5 p.m. Sit down, and before like last time, Sean Layden, he's like, "Here's the price, here's this," and so I think Xbox did the same thing with Xbox One reveal. It was like a separate event, so I think they'll do the same thing. Press conference, have everyone there.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so and I bet that'll happen because they say holiday. I imagine we talked about. I was thinking maybe it could be December, but you guys made good points that it would be November. I imagine that reveal would come sometime. I think they've always been in September, so I think it'll probably come around then. So next September, under a year from now, we'll be getting the Xbox whatever and the PS5.
And then I guess so. I like the haptic feedback. I like that idea. We'll see how it goes. But also the triggers as well, I think, is an interesting point because whatever console you're playing, your controller is pretty much always the same, and that can vary on how good triggers are for like certain games. So like for example, GameCube controller I think is great for Smash. Like those triggers are really good, but for something like a Mario Kart, they almost feel like too chunky or something. And then for shooters, I've always felt so much more comfortable with Xbox controllers, the triggers for shooters, than with the PS4 triggers. But I'd say there's maybe like an exception to that with Horizon Dawn, which felt great with like the kind of bow mechanics to play with those kind of triggers. So I think the fact that you can kind of simulate multiple almost styles or like types of feedback is going to be really interesting for just game feel in general, because I'm still not a huge fan of PlayStation controller. I mean, I was a big Xbox 360 guy, so I've played so much more of that than I have still with PS4. And I'm getting more and more used to the controller, but it's not quite right for me. So I'm really excited for those little changes. And then the other news that came out, did you have anything to say on this PlayStation stuff? I mean, you're a Xbox guy.
It still blows me away that they waited a whole console generation for the backwards compatibility thing. I think that was something that Sony should have done a while ago.
Yeah.
Didn't hurt them though, right?
It didn't hurt them in the end, but I think it's
also,
still something they should have done.
I do.
Also, Xbox didn't do it for a while too, right? So it's I think if the rules were reversed and PlayStation was behind sales, it would have happened a lot sooner as well.
True.
So.
I think to me, I feel like it's an expected thing at this point, because like with Xbox 360, they had like, does PS2 have backwards compatibility?
To PS1?
Or does PS3
yes,
PS3 have backwards
yeah.
compatibility? Then I find that to be strange how...
Yeah, I wonder if that was something to do with the fact that PS3 wasn't... Like, PS2 is an iconic system, and even like through all of PS3's life, like they were still releasing PS2 games, such a massive console, whereas PS3 wasn't really that, right? Like Xbox 360 clearly won that generation. So, and maybe there wasn't all those iconic games, maybe there wasn't as many iconic games that they felt people need to get it. Like when you get a PS4, you need to have these games with you. Whereas, yeah, I mean, now that this is backwards compatibility, like there's so many games on PS4 that I need to keep these games, and now that I have backwards compatibility, I can get rid of my PS4 and sell it or throw it off a rooftop for all I care. It doesn't really matter.
Wow.
Whereas maybe you don't need that. Maybe people didn't feel like they needed that. I mean, it still would have been a nice feature, but I guess it is good that they're finally doing it now.
Yeah, I just think because I like, not to throw you on the bus, but I think that Xbox did just because they were trying to get people back at that point. They are clearly losing. I think, again, if the roles were reversed, they wouldn't have bothered with it. They weren't bothering with it when it launched, right, the Xbox? So I think it was, we can win some people back. And I think it did a little bit, but obviously not enough to turn the tide. So I think now they honestly, it would have been nice to do it with PS4, but now heading into another kind of war situation. And to me, it's a situation in my opinion, if Xbox doesn't have a big jump leg, they're just going to become, we've talked about this before, a big developer. I could see this being the last Xbox, and then not the last one, but the last really going toe-to-toe with PlayStation. If they kind of get creamed again, I think that there'll be some changes. I think Phil Spencer might not be around that much longer. And that's the thing where I think now this is just another thing for PS5. We didn't have PS4, but guys, with the PS5. And the rumors are going around that they're going to be doing with PS1, PS2, PS3, PS4. So that makes it it sucked for this generation, but they didn't need to bust it out now because they can save it for the PS5 huge launch of pay all your old games. Don't go to Xbox, blah, blah, blah,
Yeah, and I mean, that is a good point. I mean, PlayStation definitely, it obviously has those games right now, but I do appreciate Xbox having such a well-established, and they've slowly been building up over the years for the seamlessness of their interface and their content, their Games Pass and everything they can offer, and the connectivity, and just how they can bridge PC and Xbox, and even how Xbox they're trying to bridge that with other consoles. Obviously PlayStation just finished their beta with cross-platform games right now, which is huge. And
they kind of had to cave in that regard.
Yeah, and I feel like this, it's great, and I feel like Xbox has just done so many good changes in that way that this is what I tell myself to sleep at night, that now that they can focus on the games because they've done such a great job at perfecting their hardware and their software, that the next console, I no doubt it'll be running at 8K capability, and it's going to be absolutely fantastic. Not that I can afford an 8K
8K is
TV.
not even a thing.
It is a thing. You can buy 8K TVs. Look, you can buy them on Best Buy.
Go look
It
into
is true.
They're like $30,000.
Go look into 8K and see what it versus 4K. It's not really as
Your
of right
eye,
now,
your eye can only detect so much of a difference.
Yes, and
so.
what is actually being put out in 8K is one of the smallest percents ever in all of media that's been jumped to advance. So it's not. That's just a sexy title thing.
It's extremely sexy.
Yeah, 8K is not a selling feature.
I mean,
in my opinion.
even 4K. I've heard a lot of people talk about PS4 Pro versus Xbox One X, and just the comparisons there. The Xbox One X is clearly much stronger and capable to handle that 4K stuff, whereas it seems like you kind of either have to sacrifice the resolution or the frame rate on PS4 Pro, and it's doesn't really feel quite right. So I don't know. I mean, Xbox, I'm definitely back a little bit in Xbox camp, but the thing is, to sell a console to me, you need exclusives or you need something else special that I can't define right now. So whether or not they're going to come up with something undefined or some big exclusives, I don't know. I mean, now that they've scooped up Obsidian, that's great. But once again, because they're trying to make everything PC and Xbox, I don't know. It's interesting where they are, and I'm definitely buying Xbox. I'm giving money to Xbox now with Game Pass, but I don't know. They would rather me buy a console, wouldn't they? And are they going to be able to justify that?
I gotta sit down with Phil and have a heart-to-heart with him about this because it's very interesting.
I mean, I will say at least the Inside Xbox I did a few weeks ago, I thought that was an amazing showing. The way they had that set up, there was a couple weird parts to it, but overall I think that was a good showing. So I think they're in a decent spot right now, at least for my public view as the guy who's been playing PS4 games for the last 3 years now.
I will say I'm excited for them to make more improvements on their controller. I'm not a big fan of the PlayStation controller. I think between PS3 and PS4, I think the 4 is definitely an improvement. And that's great because I have a PS3, and when I use the controllers, I have certain games on my PS3 that I play. I enjoy when I got Skyrim, I played that on the PS3 because I felt the controller was much more organized, and the way it was set up, I could manage myself on Skyrim and everything I was doing properly, as opposed to Xbox, which you're right, it feels better with shooters and that sort of thing, and being very quick and in fluid motions and stuff. So
yeah, I mean, there's more to it than that as well. I've always found Xbox Like their UI is just far superior than PlayStation in my opinion, and even just like, oh my god, the PlayStation Store is a fucking pain in the ass. I've had nothing but troubles trying to use that, and like, oh, your credit card, your debit card doesn't work. I've Googled it, like hundreds of other people have the same issue. There's no resolution. It's just like, it'll work this day, won't work the next day. Sony's probably lost at least a couple hundred of my bucks from just like, I physically cannot buy this thing because their website doesn't work. It's kind of crazy how that's still acceptable. I've
Jesus.
never had that problem
Gwen's
with
bought
Microsoft.
something accidentally. I don't know what's going on with Dylan. over
Really?
here.
What'd she buy?
She bought I can't
Paw
remember.
Patrol
It was some
season
kids
4?
movie. No, it was something to do with a chick. Oh, it was a bunny rabbit movie.
Was it good?
We didn't watch it.
Worth the money?
We got a refund.
Fair.
Yeah,
fair.
yeah.
Uh,
Do a PayPal account. I've never had a problem with it. It's hooked up to PayPal.
I've used PayPal. It's just like a random occurrence, and I've tried PayPal as well. It doesn't work.
Wow.
But then it does randomly work like some days. But yeah, it's incredibly annoying, and I'm not the only one. From what I've seen online, it seems like another just issue that's completely random, whether or not it'll fix itself one day or not. So it's pretty annoying.
They
But,
take care of those Spider-Man DLC buyers. You know,
There you
that's
go.
what I got it. Yeah.
guess so. The only other PlayStation thing is Bluepoint. There's some talks of Bluepoint Studios is working on a game that is possibly going to be like a launch title, or possibly for PlayStation 5, at least early on. They're the ones who most recently made the Shadow of the Colossus remake, which
Right, I've heard about this.
yeah, I don't like that game, but as in terms of them as a studio making the remake, like that is one of the most beautiful games I've ever seen in my life, and I think they did a damn good job with the remake. I just don't like the game itself, but that's kind of interesting, and it seems like they're hinting towards it being another remake of something instead of a original IP. So I don't know what that could be, but that's kind of interesting. And I don't know, between that and like Horizon Dawn's probably been in the oven, I'm guessing, since the first one, or since they've had like dev kits possible for PS5. It seems like there's some good stuff, like maybe early on in the PS5's life cycle, which is not something that you can usually say for a launch of a console. So that's pretty exciting to me.
Yeah, Last Guardian didn't really work out for them, so they can go do their remakes. That's probably smart. I could see
the guys who made the remake for Shadow of the Colossus didn't make the original game.
Did they not?
They just made the
Okay.
remake, and so they didn't make Last Guardian, as far as I know.
Okay, I could see that being a possibility. I still think that Horizon 2 is not a launch title. I think it's going to be in the launch year, but I think it's just with history, and I think they always got so much going on. You'll get smaller tier ones. I would love it because
Yeah, I mean,
gives me
naturally it
gameplay.
takes time to learn how to use this new technology, new engines, whatever it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Horizon Dawn came out at the very start of 2017. It had one major DLC pack. I want to say later that year, maybe 6 months later.
Mhm.
That's my random guess. I can't remember. So I mean, it's been a while.
Yeah,
Really.
I'm
So
excited for that game. I gotta play that
me
game
too.
again.
That and Spider-Man are like, I'm getting this console. I'm kind of tied to you guys at this point. So
Yeah.
that's the Sony news of the day, I want to say. Yeah.
I will shout out the you're done on Sony over there, sir.
Yeah. You did a Shadow of Colossus review, didn't you, for
No.
the remake?
I never did. I have a big old script written on it, and I'll try to put it together someday. I've put a lot of work into it, but
Okay.
hasn't seen the light of day yet.
Marvel Avengers, our favorite game to keep update on, see what they're doing. So this happened a couple weeks ago, along with the PS5 news. That was Miss Marvel was revealed as a playable character. We can talk about that in a second. Other stuff that came out today from an interview was Miss Marvel's plan as protagonist from the start. I had hoped so, as it seems like the story would dictate that, the story they're telling. More heroes to unlock as the story progresses. PS5 will take advantages of new features to enhance gameplay. Tandem/double team moves between more than one hero practically confirmed. Just copying that those synergy MUA attacks. And then villains will not be playable. A huge downer for Taylorfield, apparently.
Yikes.
With all this news, Miss Marvel, that was, to me, it's very obvious. The first trailer, they showed a girl falling down with a Captain Marvel shirt. It's like, okay, she's going to be there. I think they've been... with the actual game and what it is, not obvious, but as far as who's coming, they've been very obvious. So I think this is happening. Well, it's happening, but I thought that was happening. For the playable characters, I do think Hawkeye will be playable. They've hinted at that. And then Dylan and I debate this, but I think 100% Hank Pym will be playable, especially the way they phrase that. Unlock as the story
What do you think about
progresses.
Spidey?
It's tough because they said they were going to do something, right? So I bet he will be, but I bet not in base
Not a
game.
launch title.
Yeah, I bet like down the line or down the road. So I liked her gameplay. Again, the biggest thing that stands out to me so far with this game is the story. There's been gameplay, looks a little meh, a little generic. The other things that have actually been looking cool is some of the menus and some of the customization you can do, like the suits.
Yeah.
Like they showed Iron Man, like
a
he has
lot of
like
costumes.
yeah, a lot of costumes. There was like someone was saying like 65, and you can customize all these different thing. So that I'm not the biggest fan of Destiny, but maybe in a superhero world that can kind of get me going. And I've also already been dabbling a bit of that in the ISOs as far as Marvel Ultimate Alliance. I like that. So I still think this game has potential. I think I'm going to enjoy it as long as it's not just complete shitbox. I'm hoping for a nice solid out of 7 out of 10, 7.5, maybe even an 8. But the story to me, everything they show trailer wise looks like it's intriguing me. Like from the launch, even when they started to get a little muffled, I've loved what they've done to the story. I love the cinematics. So yeah, I'm still on board with this game. Obviously cautiously optimistic. Villain's not playable. I didn't think that was going to be a thing. I think they're going to be very focused. I think you'll never get a roster more than 20 people, to be honest. So
that even seems like a lot to me.
I'm
with
high
how much
on
customization is in there.
Yeah.
My excitement for this game ebbs and flows like crazy. There's some days where I wake up and I'm really excited for it, and then other days I see like their press releases. I'm just like, what are you guys even doing here? But I think overall I'm kind of in the same spot as Travis, where I'm excited for it and I want it to be good, but I just haven't been given enough evidence for that. As for Kamala Khan, Miss Marvel, I'm really excited about that. I don't really know much about this character. Marvel Ultimate Alliance, I've been playing as her, but there's too many characters for that to have a meaningful story, I would say. Obviously with her TV show coming out, Disney Plus, I think that's great. Like, I'm excited to get introduced to this character and have her be a big like mainstream character. That'll be sweet. But I think it's interesting to have her as the protagonist. I think it could be kind of fun because she's, younger, and she, as a character, is like a fan of the Avengers. So I think that'll be almost fun from like a player's perspective to start. Player's perspective, shout out to Taylor Field. But to start the game and play through the game, unlocking these characters from her perspective, where we as well are the fans, and we've been looking up to these characters, and we've been watching these movies, and we want to see them, and to get to work with them will be kind of fun. So I think that could be some fun story dynamic there, a good perspective way to introduce the story in an unexpected way. Instead of starting, I guess you probably start that opening cutscene on the bridge, and you play as like all of them or something.
Yeah, I think
and
that's
then
opening.
It'll cut forward, and then you'll start as Miss Marvel. So you'll get to dabble with those characters a bit, but then you can hop right in and Captain Marvel, Miss Marvel.
We should be getting a beta soon, don't you think? Because remember they promised that for PS4.
Oh, yeah, that's going to be like a month before the game, or 2 weeks or something.
They're really close to the release
A week.
of the game.
They're not doing that in 2019. No way.
Damn.
No, that's like at most a month before in my
Wow.
mind. 2 weeks would be my prediction. This
It's gonna be just that bridge too. I guarantee.
it's just gonna be the bridge, definitely. This game is it's in a weird spot. Like
We're gonna review it.
Yeah, there's things that make me excited. Like I like the customization. I like some in-depth movesets. I like the buddy attack system. That's always great. And I like that Eidos Montreal is working on it, or they're helping with it at least, because they have very like Dishonored like level design. They made Deus Ex the
Machina.
the recent one, and I played a little bit of that because it was on PS Plus sometime this year, and that's a very Dishonored like game. In fact, I think a lot of people that worked on Dishonored also have worked on that game or something like that. So there's I guess that gives me hope for some really interesting level design and replayability, because the thing is, from what we've heard on the levels, it's not going to be a very open world, right? So how are you going to motivate us to keep coming back and replay these same levels? Well, you need to do that through interesting level design and have like, here's how Thor would go through this level, and here's how Miss Marvel, here's how Black Widow go through this level. It's all different pathways. One character might just be going ham, taking all the enemies. Someone might be sneaking around. I think that partnership could help build that part of the game up. And I think my biggest question, other than how the level design is going to work, is the multiplayer. I really, really am curious as how that's going to work. Can I play through the game like the first playthrough with Travis and Kirkland?
I don't think so.
My PS4 boys, or can I not? Is it just something later? Is it something that after I've completed everything, then it's like I go play some multiplayer? Well, am I going to want to do that? It's kind of the same thing with Ultimate Alliance. Like, even not playing online, like, it's fun playing with your buddies in the same room, but playing online, I just don't really see any incentive to do that. And I feel like this game, with having a smaller roster and maybe not so many levels, I think you're going to need that motivation to play some online and play with some other people, especially with the buddy attacks. Because I don't know if they'll have a CPU system like Ultimate Alliance has. I'm not sure, but Yeah, once again, like I don't know, I think this is good news, but once again, it wasn't
Yeah.
really surprising news. So it's, I guess it brings my excitement up just a touch because I like. I mean, they showed a very quick thing of her like beating up some bad guys. It was very very quick. It looked nice, but it was only like 10 seconds, so it's hard to drive too much out of that.
Yeah. Well, and it was confirmed. We got an idea, but we at least know there's still some more reveals to happen with characters, right? Because
Yeah, if there's months to come, well, I think Hawkeye's got a good chance, and I still don't know how I feel about Ant-Man. But
I don't know why you don't feel that. That was in the first trailer.
I just got the vibe that he's in it enough that's like, okay, why didn't you just announce him as playable at this point, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I guess so.
Like he just seems like an NPC to me, someone who guides you through the story, someone who's here's some tech for this mission.
They've just already done some weird stuff, so don't put it past them and be like, should we announce them now?
Oh,
no,
definitely.
let's,
The
let's
marketing
keep
for
it a
this game
secret.
is wild. This Ultimate Alliance, who's marketing at Marvel Games, I think they need to step it up a bit.
They did good with Spider-Man. Spider-Man was all over
True.
the place. That was good messaging, stuff like that. So they got to get but that's probably a Sony thing.
That's the Sony thing. That's
Yeah.
check out our sick PS4 conference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Taylor Field, honestly, disappointed by no villains. What do you think about all this news?
Very disappointed about the villains thing. Yeah, this is not a game I will get day one. It comes out in May, and
What
I
if
will
the
be-
reviews are just raving? Like day one, me and Dylan are like, "This is fantastic." Like not as good as Marvel Ultimate Alliance, but close to that level.
Like Ghost Rider would sell you on it, but what
I know Ghost
what
Rider, I
is
was
something
gonna
else that
say.
would sell you on it?
Something else that would sell me on it. I don't know. I would love it to be a little bit more open world. It just when I was watching the gameplay videos, it just felt very like linear in the way it was. The missions were and stuff
Mhm.
like that. Like when I think of these kind of superhero games, I think like Hulk Ultimate Destruction or like the Spider-Man 2 or Amazing Spider-Man. Like the games
Marvel
which are
Ultimate
more
Alliance
open.
is pretty linear though. Once you get there, right? It's you
It
start
is,
A,
but
you go
it
B.
fits. It fits with the scale of it, like
Yeah.
how it's very story driven, and it's just how it's co-op and all that stuff. In this case, like it feels like this is such an open world, and it's very detailed and looks great. And I just feel like okay, it should have a little bit of that open world aspect.
Here's one more thing that I think it came out after the Miss Marvel. I think it was an interview after that announcement at where was that announcement at? It was just a Comic-Con in New York.
New
right?
York Comic Con. Yep.
They said that the main story is you can expect it to be like a Tomb Raider length, so something around like 12 hours to complete the main game and like 30 if you do absolutely everything. To me, that seems pretty short for what I was expecting for this game.
Yeah.
So if that is the case, that will be a bummer for me, I want to say.
I guess their idea is, which we talked about in a group chat today, but I guess their idea is they keep enforcing we're going to be adding lots of content post-launch. So I guess if they do that,
That's definitely a selling point they're going
they really
for.
got to double down with
but
that.
I really hope it feels like a complete experience at launch.
Yeah.
Then that's just something where many people say like, oh, just add that stuff in day one, and I agree with this in this sense. Like that is a very short duration for a game, and I do feel like maybe they should have waited a little bit longer and put all that content in the game for day one launch, because I feel like then that would be great, and then they could open up their focus on like newer stuff that they can pump into the game, which would be great. But I don't know. I mean, that's not a lot of content starting off, and it seems rather short. The story and stuff seems interesting enough, and if it were to come on the Game Pass, I would definitely try it for sure.
I don't think.
Um,
well, yeah, not at launch.
Not at
Yeah,
launch,
yeah.
but eventually maybe. But I mean, yeah, Ghost Rider playing in that kind of like environment would totally sell me on it. Like I would really want to experience
Rider's
that.
so in-
but
that would be so cool.
For
Modify your chain, get all sorts of different chains.
God, riding the bike around, it'd be good.
That's why I still don't believe you when you're like you said it had to be this specific. But if PS4 announced one of their launch titles is a Ghost Rider game, or PS5, you'd be on that like white on rice.
Yeah, it really goosebumps. For me, I mean that comes out in May, but just prior to that, March is when Watch Dogs Legion comes out, and I know like if I'm paying the same price between like these two games, I like Watch Dogs. I've been playing through Watch Dogs 2. It's great. I'm gonna spend my money on the game that has like way more, like triple time the amount of story time, like game time, and everything you can do, and like I didn't hate how they revealed the Avengers game. There was anticipation, but it was an okay like reveal. But like again, like Watch Dogs Legion totally sold me on that.
Yeah.
But I guess like you were right. Their marketing has been very like here and there.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully they come around a little bit.
They got a lot of time still.
They
so.
do. I don't know. You said the beta is only for PlayStation when it drops.
I don't know if it's only, but I think they said
It's first.
first. Yeah,
First? Okay.
I believe that was at the conference.
I was at E3.
Yeah, at the E3
Yeah.
conference. I can't remember the details though.
I wouldn't mind then trying it if it does come to Xbox eventually.
Sorry.
I do love the fact that you said there's all that customizing available, because I think especially with a character like Iron Man, I mean, you have to be able to deck him out with
True.
everything you could do. And I hope it's detailed to the point where you can customize like certain portions of his armor.
And hopefully on the fly, like he's in his little room and it just like modifies as you changing through stuff.
That'd be super
so
cool.
And I will give them credit because they keep revealing costumes. Obviously, Marvel Ultimate Alliance is getting better now, but their first lineup of
Yeah, the launch costumes are pretty disappointing.
Yeah, so far these guys have been knocking it out of the park with their different costumes so far with Iron Man and Cap, like that scale costume. Thank goodness, because I do not want to play with the costume they've created. So I will give them credit. So far, every costume they release is unique, different, and really cool, and looks like lots of thought put into it.
Yeah.
So like even then, I think Black Widow they showed like she has a white one, but it's not just like the recolor that like we got with Marvel.
Right.
It's like really different. It's decked out. So
Patterns.
they've really done a good job at that. So I'm hoping, especially in the future, that could be the same thing of like, oh, new DLCs dropping that they've said is free, and then maybe it's like 3 costumes for everybody, this and that. So I'm really pulling for the game. I want it to be good. Of course, it's Marvel, like anything comic book related, I want to be good, but I want another one because if we got Spider-Man, Marvel Alliance, and this is a nice kind of a trifecta.
Yeah.
And I just want
We've been
superhero
talking about that
games.
for so long. Like, where are all
Yeah.
the Marvel games? And now that trifecta's out there cooking. That's pretty sweet.
Yeah, I want them to be successful because then we can get a whole bunch of different stuff. So we
Mhm.
can get a new Punisher game in the vein of GTA, you know?
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Get a Ghost Rider game.
Please.
Do it.
Dylan?
Yeah, there's one other thing I want to talk about. So I think the trailer just dropped yesterday, a couple days ago, but Rocket League dropped like like an October event going on,
Mhm.
Stranger Things
Oh
theme.
yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, that's such a good trailer. Just the music, the fucking Demogorgon in the background. It's just awesome. Then alongside that, they have the Knight Rider car as well as Ghostbusters car that they added in
E.T.
there.
had some, like, was in the wheels.
What's that?
E.T. was in the wheels.
Mhm.
Yep.
So I don't know. Everything Rocket League does is like pure gold. Like all their team, like when they teamed up with Hot Wheels, is like that's fucking perfect. When they have here's all the Batmobiles you can do. The Jurassic Park Jeep
I got
is in
that.
there. I have it too.
Love it.
But yeah, I don't know. I'm not even that big of a Stranger Things fan. I like the first season. I just haven't really got around to the other ones. But I just love the trailer so much that it motivated me to get back in there. So me and Clinton hopped in last night and played. This first time I played in probably a year and a half. It's been a while.
How'd that go for you?
I got destroyed,
Yeah.
but Clinton is very good, so he
Yeah.
helped. We won a few games, but either way, it's just like it's not a game that I really care about doing too well. It's just so much fun to
Mhm.
screw around. It's just the aesthetic is all there. It's so easy and quick to customize. They have good music playing, like Spotify stuff is just going on. So it's just such an awesome game. I love to see all the partnerships they're doing.
That's funny. I'm the opposite with that game. When I sit down, I pop my Turtle Beaches on, and I go. I get fucking serious. I swear at my
yeah.
teammates when they suck and they're garbage.
Wow.
They intentionally
You
like.
swear at them?
That's
I get
abuse.
mad. Like I really do. Like they.
We can cross platform. We got to play.
If
I'm on PC.
If I get in some games where people are swearing at me because I'm messing up, and I'll be like, "Yeah, I'm fucking up big time. I'm
I think
sorry."
maybe that's
but
the difference. Like, I don't think I've ever played that game by myself because I've always had 3 or 4 friends who play the game. Like Clinton's really into it. My friend Cooper as well. So I'll hop in with them and play, and they're better than me. So I'm probably the one dragging them down. They just don't want to swear at me because I'm their friend, but that helps, I guess. But yeah, I think I realized, like, I played a lot of Rocket League when it first came out, but I kind of simmered off. Like, it's not a game that I want to get super into like I am with Melee.
Mhm.
And I think that's where I am with it, where I'm just like, it's more of a casual game for me. I love it as an esport. It's an awesome game to watch, but I accept
Yeah.
that it takes a lot to have that air control that you need
Oh yeah.
to be that good. So I just kind of have some fun. And when I get a really sick aerial shot, it's like, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
It just like
Feels
pumps you up.
good.
It's so good. I got the Jurassic Park Jeep. Of all the vehicles that they added in there, I was like, oh, I want that Jurassic Park Jeep.
I liked how it handled, but then I went back to the Halo Warthog. It feels so
the Halo
good.
Warthog's in there?
Oh,
Xbox
yeah.
only probably, hey?
I guess, yeah. They have.
I didn't see it in there.
They have vehicle. From
I would
Gears,
totally get the
too.
Warthog.
The Warthog has needlers in the back, so that's
crazy.
your boost.
They have a bunch of Batmobiles too. Like
They do.
They have. I thought they just had the one, but I think I was looking at it. And there's
they got the Nolan, Christian Bale Batman, yeah,
they have a bunch
Batmobile
of
and all
them.
that.
It's pretty cool.
But
It's the Tumbler.
the Tumblr, yeah. I love the Jurassic
Oh,
Park
damn.
though. I have the animation when you get the gold and the T-Rex blasts out of the net. It's so
Nice.
great.
Yeah, Rocket League is just an awesome game, and I don't know if we're playing. We'll play on the 24-hour stream or
Well,
the
we
tournament
have
or
it.
something.
We have it
I can't
penciled in
remember.
for the finals of the tournament because it's a pretty base
Right.
game. Unless Clinton gets to the finals, then that's a
That's not
no-go.
fair.
But other than Dylan Muss, who I never played Rocket League, and then I played it against for the first time,
Uh-huh.
the very first Gauntlet tournament where he won the tournament. Other than that,
It's been a great gauntlet game. Like even me
Yeah.
and Briggs had a really heated, close ass.
me and
match.
Kyle too. We
Mhm.
but other than Dylan, I was saying I'm undefeated in Rocket League and Gauntlet. So
There you go.
I love that game. I don't even own that game. It just feels good in the hands. But yeah, that will definitely be appearing in some fashion in the tournament. So Extra Life forgot to promote $15,000 we're trying to raise. Do it, you know.
15.
Help us. We already got 100 from the great Jeff Larrymore, just a boss, that guy. So yeah, try and raise that up,
Yeah.
and Dylan's gonna shave his lovely head.
Sure am. I'm growing it out. That's why I'm wearing this hat because it's just a mess under there. Please get rid of it for me. What else? There's only a couple things. This was happened a while ago, but Doom Eternal got delayed to the same day as Animal Crossing is coming out, which to me is just like a funny thought because those are like the complete
Polar opposites.
opposite. Like one's like a slice of life Nintendo game where you just go around and talk to animals and it's the cutest thing ever, and then one is like just the most violent,
Kill.
grotesque,
Kill or
kill
be killed.
fest.
Chainsaw
Yeah.
people. Yeah.
And I really, like, I'm definitely getting Animal Crossing, and I also really want to do Maternal. So now I'm in this weird spot where am I going to
Yeah.
be the guy who shows up midnight release at GameStop and buys both Animal Crossing and Doom Eternal? I think I could be. So
do it.
I say this with a lot of games, but if Cyberpunk and Avengers wasn't coming out, I'd be getting Doom because
Yeah.
when I got the first one, that sold me. I'm not even a big shooter, but that hit all the Ghiblies
Yeah,
for
and
me.
then-
It
and
hit
the second
all my
one,
soft spots. I wish it had
that
multiplayer.
the multiplayer mode where you can play as the demons in
Yeah.
the second one looks fucking sweet. And then I think the cool thing with this announcement also was, we're delaying it, but here's the thing: there's a pre-order bonus now. So Doom 64, which was supposed to also come out in November, and maybe it still does. That's now a pre-order bonus for the game. So to me, that's a huge incentive because I wanted to get that as well. Just
Yeah.
try Doom 64. Never tried it. So
I
think
don't
that's
know
a
if it comes out in November or I think it's
They
coming
might
out
kicked
with
it.
the game.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I think that's maybe it's. Not, I thought it was a pre-order bonus, but maybe it's just part of the game.
I
sure.
think now, I think they've maybe done something like now it's a pre-order bonus
Yeah, I
with the
think so.
delay to kind of
Whereas
like, hey,
before it was just like, hey, it's coming out the same week.
yeah,
Yeah, so I think that's great, and that's another incentive why I want to get it on release, and I could see myself being there at EB Games getting both of them because I wanted to get that as well. So it's a nice 2-for-1, and I think that's a good thing. I mean, if the game wasn't ready, obviously you got to kick it back, and I think Bethesda's in a pretty weird spot right now with like Rage 2 is good, but like I feel like people kind of just forgot about it.
it didn't hit as big as
Yeah.
I thought it was gonna because it just got a lot of 7s, and even myself that I was someone that was excited, I still want to try it. But Doom, when I
Mhm.
played that first one, kind of hit that spot of like something
Right.
fast paced. But yeah, Rage did not hit as big as I thought it was
It
gonna.
didn't. I think Borderlands has something to do with it, right? Like similar genres and aesthetic, and then Borderlands was announced around that time. Fallout 76, obviously a huge, like, they just released an unfinished game. They're getting a lot of shit for it, deservingly. So I don't know. I think Bethesda needs like a big.
They need a W.
They need a big hit. So if they
Yeah.
release this game unfinished and patched it over the next few weeks, like they kind of tried to do with Fallout 76, that would not have been good for them. So I think this is a good choice overall. The time frame of it, it's before
Cyberpunk, yeah.
it's before Cyberpunk, so I think that's good. I mean, I don't think Animal Crossing is really competition for it. I
No.
mean, for me personally, it kind of is, but
Even
I think that's different enough markets.
even
there.
Cyberpunk to
Even
another-
console-wise, like that's not going to be released on Switch on launch. I know the first Doom is, but I doubt this one will.
Yeah, even Cyberpunk to a different degree. Yeah, it's a first-person shooter, but Cyberpunk is more a role-playing game. If you got anything to go by The Witcher, like it's all gonna be about choices and story. Doom, you have a story, but it's very, very loose. It's very just like destroy the demons. Yeah,
Yeah,
so
it's not really.
I think it's gonna be
just
fine
full
because
gameplay.
the other thing for me is as long as they make it a good game like the first one. When this got delayed, I saw a lot of people disappointed, which surprised me. Not because it's a bad game, just on my feed. I don't follow a lot of game people.
Well,
lot of people
especially, I mean, that's like I guess this was announced 1 or 2 weeks ago, so it's like the game was out in a month
well,
and a
yeah,
half.
and a lot of people were saying this is their
Yeah.
anticipated game of the year. So it
Yeah, if that
definitely has
happened
a
with Outer
following.
Worlds or Death Stranding, I'd be pretty salty as well.
Yeah.
So I can understand that. I think
Ooh,
for
Death
me,
Stranding.
at least I have like a bunch of other games to play
Yeah.
this season. So
Too
for me
many.
getting it delayed is actually a good thing because I really wanted it, but I just couldn't justify it with how many other games are popping out around this time frame.
Yeah,
So,
Jedi
yeah.
Fallen Order just delayed to like January, and then I'm happy.
I do want to try
I
that
thought
game
you were
as well. but
serious.
time
I was
frame's
like,
bad.
What?
Oh yeah.
Wouldn't that be good for you because you got Pokemon the same day, literally the same day?
You can borrow it from me when I'm done. We're buying it hard copy.
I would
so,
love to.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm gonna do about the fucking Pokemon
The
thing
good-
here.
the good
I might
thing
have to let
is-
Jessica go solo with that because Jedi Order really has me excited.
Well, the good thing is I know.
God, you see that fucking Meowth that they're doing now? What the fuck are the
He's
designs?
stretched.
The long cat? What the hell, man? This is so
Before
weird.
we get too off topic, I think next week I saw a lot of reviewers at Disneyland for like a Jedi Fallen Order event. So I think next week I don't think review embargoes drop, but I think a lot of like reactions or first impressions of Jedi Fallen Order. So that'll help. Well, me and Taylor are reviewing it no matter what because we're Cantina boys, but that'll help a lot for
That's
just
true.
general hype. Because I think if they could, I don't think it's going to be as good, but if I think they can get anywhere near a Spider-Man like quality for a Star Wars game, would do huge.
Honestly,
for them.
details I've heard kind of trickle out over the last few months are good things to me. I didn't love the initial reveal, but the things I've heard make it seem like a pretty decent game.
Yeah.
So I'm like the time frame's bad, really bad for me, but I do definitely want to try it out now.
Yeah.
So
Fingers crossed. Just never know the EA, right? You know, it's Respawn, so
reviewers also have Death Stranding now too.
Yeah.
Embargoed out the yin yang.
November 1st is when they can drop it. But yeah, like I was saying, when the verbiage I was talking about earlier in the group chat today, everyone was just like playing tons with capital letters, or like anytime someone says I can't wait to talk about it, anytime I've seen that, people usually follow
unless
the
they have
positive
like really
reviews.
strong negative things to say. About
Yeah,
it.
usually I find most critics, if something goes bad, they don't tweet about it until the review is like, hey, I played Death Stranding, didn't like it, here's my review. Usually people that don't like something aren't like, oh man, I'm playing this really shitty game, guess what it could be. Like, so far it seems like reactions are good. I still think that's a game that's not going to sell gangbusters just because I think it's a weird title.
It's very weird.
But I think they are fine because they got Last of Us coming out in February, so that'll be their big seller. Last of Us 1 was a huge seller that technically, when we're talking about what won last generation, that pushed PS3 over Xbox 360.
They're going to have a good last
so.
year, I think.
Yeah, and Ghost still
Ghost
coming
as
out
well.
too, so yeah.
It's pretty promising. Yeah, that's all I had. I do want to, when we have Kirkland or Briggs on, I want to talk about
for his 1 month of cast.
His one
cast a month.
Riot just came out and announced a shit ton of stuff. They announced that they're making a shooter, kind of seems like Overwatch style. They announced a fighting game that they're making, and a card game, kind of like Hearthstone, and with like League characters and stuff. And interesting because I mean Riot's huge, but they only have one game, so I think it's interesting. But I don't play League myself, so when one of those boys are on, I want to talk to them and see if how interested they are to have those characters show up in other genres.
Kirkland is still seen Joker, so he's behind on a bunch of stuff.
He's a little behind, but you know what? I'm on Discord and I can see sometimes he's playing League of Legends. So
True.
he's living it up.
Living it up.
Yeah.
Living the vida
Yeah,
loca.
That's all. That's all I want to say. Hashtag boycott Blizzard. I'll drop that in there. But yeah.
Oh yeah, Blizzard's
Oh,
a piece
God.
of shit.
That
I've heard there's
is
some
just
stuff.
a
I haven't
fucking-
bothered to get into the drama. I've heard
It's
there's
just Blizzard. You're being shitty.
I don't read about it. I just hear podcasts about it. I listen to them talk about it. I go, man, yeah, Blizzard. But they've always been a little shitty these past few years, but recently they're really turning up the shit nozzle, so.
shit nozzle. Just,
yeah. That's a nozzle.
They don't have their thumb over it anymore. They're
Yeah.
just letting it all.
It's a nozzle you don't want to turn up.
Yeah.
So what are you shouting out to? Like, what Assassin's Creed or COD DLCs dropped?
No, this is incredible. I didn't even realize
Yeah.
it's a year without an Assassin's Creed. This
Yeah,
is
where
the
are the
second
rumors
time.
at? I feel like it's been a while since we've
I gotta go
Yeah,
check
there's
Reddit.
Where's Geeks Creed at? You know?
I guarantee.
Geeks Creed, fuck.
Yeah. Where's Ruban? Are you gonna have that raw or not ready for October? Because didn't you say it's a Halloween oriented one? Is it gonna be out for October?
Oh, it'll fucking be out.
I don't.
I got
know.
all the
saying it.
I got the
I
creative.
don't
I got
see
all
it.
the stuff. You know, I've been getting distracted now. Ruben's been real bad. He's got his episode. He's got to finish. It's
he's
been like
busy.
5
He's
months.
busy, yeah.
Being-
Oh no, he procrastinates. He shows
Still.
me. He opens it and then he does it for 5 minutes and then he leaves.
What
and doesn't
happens
do
to
it.
that one episode you've been working on for like 2 years?
That's the one he's supposed to be doing.
Well, that's one thing. I'll support you because my brother's a bad guy, but Hunka Hunka's been pumping stuff out.
I'm not
Where-
looking forward to doing a rod or not hunka thing here. You know,
with a punishment deathmatch. Why you think he's gonna beat you in a bunch
no,
of games?
no, not that he's gonna beat me. I just it's gonna
He's
be
a
hard
wild
not
card
having
for
my
sure.
backup here.
Yeah,
Ruben likes to do the.
He has his partner in
shit.
crime coming with him. He's gonna do commentary.
He's going on commentary. He's just gonna shit talk you.
Yeah,
I know. I
mind
wish
games.
Ruben was here because Ruben likes to undergo pain. He liked to be like my footrest and stuff like that. You know.
I've heard you're scared of soap because apparently Michael Snell II has been saying that he wanted to do some like wash your mouth out with soap, and you're like, oh, I don't know if I could do that. I'm surprised.
I don't know. I pitched a punishment, and then the soap thing came out of nowhere. And
Well,
there was some
I
rumor.
saw it. I saw the punishment, and it was blowing soup, and I'm like, not in my house. if I'm
Blowing,
host-
what is blowing soup?
It
mean?
was like you.
The straw was like, okay, you can imagine. Imagine that cup, that mug he has there. Imagine something
Good
a little
for the
bit
viewers.
smaller. Okay, let's say
I can
it's,
imagine a mug. Yeah.
Let's say that you have a cup there, and it's like a long travel mug, and It's maybe like, I guess, like a foot long or whatever, but it's a little bit smaller and it's completely hollow. And there's a big bowl of soup, and this guy puts this straw in and he slurps up and sucks the whole thing at once, and he starts coughing.
But every video ended with him coughing, and then the soup splashed and went everywhere.
Hey,
I'm
you
like,
know what? Towels.
Is this like a guy?
Towels.
Like his YouTube channel is just him doing this repeatedly?
No, it
Just
was
one
some
guy?
Chinese guy. Just
Like-
a random video on my news,
one
my
video?
Facebook newsfeed. I shared it to the group chat. I was like, Travis, punishment.
I
I'm confused.
vetoed.
Is it one video? Okay, just one video of the guy doing it a lot, or just
Just
one?
once.
Okay.
Just one take,
I have to
think,
talk
yeah.
to Taylor because Michael Snail II, my older brother by a few minutes, he's my twin brother. He refuses to talk to Taylor because he hates.
Yeah.
Remember last year he spanked you a bunch. He said you're really disrespectful on the stream. That's why he's doing this.
I got mixed signals last year. It was
But the thing
crazy.
is, yeah, I've talked to him. So yeah, you're scared of the soap, eh? Soap in your mouth, you wouldn't do it.
I like body wash. We could do body wash.
That's not the expression though of like wash your mouth out with soap. It's not wash your mouth out
we
with
gotta
body
amp it up
wash.
though.
What? Oh god.
Define soap. That's what I always say.
Me and Dylan aren't going to be there because me and Dylan have had many big contractual disputes
It was in the
with them.
contract. We can't be there for it,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I mean, apparently there's a hefty donation involved, so we have to leave. I don't know.
And I
Some
never
weird thing.
know. We've never tempted it, but they always say they have something they could blackmail us with, so we just kind of trust them because they're
He's-
sketchy guys.
That one guy, the fucking guy, I can't pick a name. He slashed
No.
my tires once.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
all four of them, and
not
my
great.
mom's car's tires.
Jesus
Actually,
Christ.
your mom's. I feel really bad. I'm
I
going to
know.
talk to my brother.
Not my
but,
dad's though. I wonder what's happening.
But Extra Life, November 2nd. Hunk versus
Shave
Rod
my
or Not.
head.
Death match happening.
I got two things of game news I want to show you here.
Well, happening if you accept it. He's going to crash Zombieland tomorrow. Are you accept or whenever you review it? Are you going to accept this match? Who knows?
when he pops up.
He's gonna. That's what he told me.
Well, I'll talk to him and I'll see. Yeah, I don't know. It'll probably happen, I guess. For the kids, you know. I'll do it for the kids. I'll take a punishment. You know.
What is your news?
Thank you. The news is I'll be doing a Call of Duty Modern Warfare review when I can because that's
yeah.
gonna be
And maybe you're gonna
That-
hop in my impressions with Outer Worlds.
no maybe that'll definitely happen. I can't
Hell
guarantee
yeah.
I'll put in 40 hours of gameplay right away.
I want you to put in 4.5 to 5 hours. That's all I ask.
I could probably easily put in that. I think that game would just totally absorb me. But I am very excited to try that out. I didn't even realize it was on Game Pass.
Sure
So
is.
that's super cool. I pre-installed it, so I'm ready to fucking
oh
go.
shit! Is it up there? I gotta do that.
It was on the game. It was on Game Pass. It let me install it, so
God,
I was like, "Holy
hope
fuck!"
that game runs on my computer.
So yeah, that'll be super hype. And then my other news is on Game Pass they had a World War Z, and I'm really into the zombie kind of kick.
Is
And
that new game?
no, it came out a couple years ago, but
No, I mean like new to Game Pass. Sorry.
new Game Pass game. Yeah. So I I tried it out, and it's wild. Like for games that are named after the movies, you
Yeah.
always have to be like, but it feels like it's its own game, and it's taken great elements of the movie and instilled it into the gameplay. Like when the zombies come in swarms,
Yeah.
they fucking come. There's hundreds of them, and they're piling on top of each other to get to higher
so
ledges.
kind of like Days Gone sort of style. Do you remember the trailers for that game?
I remember the trailers. It doesn't seem like Days Gone because this is obviously it's not like free roam zombie stuff. You're going through missions from
Oh,
point A to
okay.
point B
Yeah,
with the
yeah.
group, and you have to work cooperatively.
Right.
Because when the zombies come, they come, and you have certain classes. So
Is it arcadey like Left 4 Dead, or is it more?
No, it doesn't
Okay.
feel arcadey. It feels more like a well-built kind of like the Division or like a Ghost Recon
Okay,
game
okay.
where you have classes and you have tier like
Oh,
skill
snap.
trees that you upgrade.
So is
and
there
then,
multiplayer in there? As
There
well?
is multiplayer. It's co-op, and then they have versus matches as well. But the co-op
Or you play
camp-
against other humans.
I think so. I
Yeah.
haven't tried it yet, but I've just done the co-op campaign stuff, which is cool. They got a bunch of chapters, and yeah, they have different classes you can play as, and just going through it is crazy. And the scenarios that you get set up with are so exciting. And there's certain moments where you have to set up like defenses and stuff like that, and just the weapons you get are awesome. And it's so fun when you see 3 of these huge mounds of zombies piling on top of each other, and you're just shooting your rocket launcher at them or firing grenades. It's
Just
so
describe my past dating
That's
life.
awesome.
it's so good. I will say we were really sucking. Me and this group, we couldn't.
Whoa.
I know.
Talking about
We,
dating life.
we had to activate this winch to pull this boat in, and as it was coming in, it kept getting jammed. So we had to reactivate it, and the
Yeah.
boat would come in, and the zombies kept coming, and we all had to meet on the boat to get away. But some of us kept getting down, and so you can't go on the boat while other people are down. Because it counts as them alive and they're not on the boat, so the mission isn't them. We were stuck in this area for like maybe an hour, and this one guy was carrying us, and we kept dying. And I know he sent it to all of us because I got this message, and
Oh, no.
it's so good. All it said was uninstall.
Yikes.
And-
I picture this guy's like a diehard. He's been playing it since like
Oh,
the game
yeah.
originally came
This
out,
is
not
his
even on
game.
Game Pass. He's just like a diehard fan. He's doesn't have any friends because he's just clearly a rude guy. And he's just like, oh, nice, it's on Game Pass. I have people to play with. And then he's just like, no, you're not good enough. Fuck.
Yeah, fully fuck. But great game. Definitely check it out.
That sounds like fun.
Yeah.
I still got to. I should finish Blair Witch sometime.
I got you too. I
There's
need
too
to go
many
back
games
to
to play
that.
right now.
I want to beat it before Halloween ends. Otherwise, I'll lose my total
I gotta
spirit
beat it
into
before Outer Worlds comes out. Or else it's not
Yeah.
happening.
It's a short game. You just get fucked with the tent. You're running around and shit.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'll get there. Shouts to Game Pass.
yeah.
That about does it, doesn't it?
That does. It does.
Where can they find us, Taylor Field?
They can find us with your internet connection or your data because we're data worthy. But if you want to save your money, you can spend that money on us on Patreon because there's lots of juicy stuff there. But you can find us with your internet connection in the search bar at Facebook, Geekverse Space Podcast, where you can find tons of awesome stuff like polls, which are super exciting, tons of up-to-date content and trailers, and so much joy and just everything that's good and wholesome in the universe.
I don't know about that. Facebook, Twitter, like Taylor said, to follow us all on social media, especially for the extra live updates. Almost all the matches have been announced, but there's still a few ones to go. I think there's about 6 more. And then the other ones are like semifinals, finals that we don't know. We can't announce. But please support us on that time. Donate anything you can, even if it's just $1. It all helps. Like, honestly, it does. We have a big goal of 1,500. It's hard to get there. So thank you if you can. If you can't, just come watch, share it, spread around, let people know. What do you need, Taylor Field?
You reminded me. We selected 3 of my artwork pieces that I've designed, and we haven't figured out how we're gonna give them away. But there's
so that's why I'm surprised you're announcing it. But
well, I just realized I should definitely shout out now.
We still have 9 podcasts to come out before this.
I'm gonna shout out every.
You wait until the
podcast.
2-hour mark to bring it up. Pretty bold move.
Yeah. Well, I'm not even sure how we're gonna hand these out. Whether it's the most highest donation that we receive gets one of these posters, but I'm gonna have a limited run of maybe 5 of them. And if you're in, I'm thinking the States or Canada, then I will ship you one because they
not our English viewers.
Well, maybe it depends on the shipping prices. I don't know those overseas.
The budgets are still to be worked out, but for the following weeks, we got tons of podcasts. Like I said before, until the 24-hour stream, we still got 9 podcasts releasing, so we got a whole bunch of content for you. So everything, please subscribe, leave us a review on Apple Podcasts. That helps. And to find us, just go down the description below. You got your video and audio and everything you do. Taylor, remember, don't go anywhere. I got an interview after this.
Oh, right.
And thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, and we promise you
It's a
when you
fun
hear
one.
from us next, it was a good one.
Catch you for Zombieland.
It won't be
Peace.
boring.
I'm very excited for Zombieland.
Me too.